All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. The Barclays WSL is back and this morning we've got a double header of Barclays WSL action. We're only live for the first games though because we've got Champions League this afternoon. But we've got a great game ahead of us this morning as Manchester City take on Liverpool. This is a massive game for so many reasons. We thought this would be, when we looked at this a couple of weeks ago, the time where City would seal the title. But after the result against Brighton last weekend, Harry, they now can't win the title today. But it's still really important that they claim a victory in order to put themselves in a really strong position next weekend.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive for Man City today. They cannot afford to slip up again, really. There's a lot of noise coming into this fixture, and they've got to make sure that it is business as usual for Jeglertz and his team. They just focus on the task at hand and get the 3 points on the board. It's not a nice fixture either. Liverpool, they're a very decent side, so it's not going to be as easy as just winning the football game. But that's the way City have got to view it. They cannot allow that pressure and that drama to creep into their performance today. They've got to go out and get the job done like normal. But yeah, it's a massive game. There's a lot more pressure on this game than we thought there was going to be. It seemed that City had a pretty simple way to wrap up the title, and it is still in their hands, of course, but as I say, they cannot afford to slip up again, really.
Indeed, and the added narrative to this contest is, of course, Liverpool manager Gareth Taylor, sacked by Manchester City in March last year. So he's got that vendetta, a little bit of a desire. How much will Gareth Taylor want to get one over his former employer?
I think that, of course, it will play into it a little bit. He will back his side to go out and get a result. I think that especially with Liverpool's season, although they can jump up a couple of places, doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things. But they'll want to win the game, and they'll want to, as you say, Gareth will want to get a victory over City. They came very close to doing so earlier in the season at Anfield, and I think that it will also put Liverpool a bit more on the map. They've had some decent results since the turn of the year. They've also had some questionable ones, especially last time out. But I think getting a result today would be a big scalp for them and really put them in a good position going into next season. And yeah, of course, Gareth Taylor would love to get a victory over the team that sacked him a few months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a year ago now, but. Yeah, I think as well, what we saw in that game at Anfield is that there isn't really anyone better than Gareth Taylor that has an understanding of that Man City squad. Obviously, he was coaching there for a good few years. So we saw a really good understanding of the weaknesses in that City side, and I think that will be a similar story today. So as much as you can look at the table and assume this will be a straightforward victory, I envision it being anything but. Liverpool will want to win this game. Gareth Taylor will be really keen to get one over his former side, and try and halt their title charge. So it's going to be a difficult one for City in that respect. But they've just got to focus on the task at hand, right? I think against Brighton, they just didn't get the job done. Brighton turned up, nailed their game plan. They found weaknesses in the City system, were able to exploit them really effectively. And it did just feel that there were a couple mistakes in that game from City that looked like they were cracking a bit under the pressure. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, I think especially the third goal for me, it was a very panicky, very messy, and that isn't what you want to see if you're a Man City persuasion. There was no reaction from City. That's what surprised me the most, was that once they went behind, they got pegged back before half-time. Fair enough, 1-1. You go again in the second half, but from going 2-1 down, there was no reaction, and then they conceded that really messy and scrappy third goal, and again, there wasn't really that spur into life. They did get one back in the end, but that was too late to mean anything, and there wasn't that instant kind of, let's ramp it up now, let's put the pressure on and turn this game around, because they had a good 25 minutes to turn that one around. So I was disappointed by the reaction from City, and that will be the main concern, is that the side who are, if you're leading the table, you're a couple games away from winning the league, you should be able to very easily up your game and turn a game on its head. So the fact they didn't do that will be a cause for concern, but today they've just got to make sure they aren't in that position again. Do not let Liverpool into the game. Get ahead early, control the game from minute 1 to 90, and then if you do that, you kind of alleviate any chance of Liverpool causing you problems.
Absolutely. Well, with that said, let's dive into the lineups ahead of this one. We're at the Joey Stadium in Manchester, so we'll begin with the Man City team. Andre Jeglertz sticking with the 4-2-3-1 in goal. It's Ayaka Yamashita. No change in the back line either, with Kasper Rose, Rebecca Kanak and Greenwood. In the midfield, Sam Coffey is back in the side alongside Yui Hasegawa. Coffey, the only change to the 11 that lost to Brighton. On one wing, it's Virginio. On the other, Lauren Hemp, Kerolin in the 10 role, and Khadija Shaw leading the line. So, not many changes from the Brighton game, but I guess this is the strongest City side, really, of the players available.
Yeah, it is. I think that Coffee coming back is a big boost, and as you say, with the injuries to players like Miedemar, it's the strongest 11 that we expected to see. But it's then on the 10 players that did start the Brighton game to up their performances. I don't think anyone was particularly good in that game. Players showed bright moments. Obviously, Shaw did get the goal. Kerolin also scored, but I thought she struggled in that kind of 10 role. Wingers look bright, but again, players have got to deliver, and I think especially defensively, they've got to look more secure. They've got to defend better as a unit because players got caught out individually and let the side down. I think that Coffee coming in will help with that because she's Sam Coffee, an incredible defensive midfielder, but it's on the with the lack of options available, with the lack of rotation that we do see from City and Jeglertz, it's on the 10 players that did start last week to turn up and deliver this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think where we saw Brighton have a lot of success was playing through central areas, and they seemed to play through the City midfield with too much ease. And so I think Coffee coming back in does go some way to remedy that. Jeremy bringing up in the live chat saying, not sure about Kerolin in that midfield role. I think the way that they used her in the game against Brighton was to try and play her in a very similar role to Viviana Miedemar. But I wonder if they can perhaps get more upside today by making that partnership up front look a little bit different, with Shaw dropping deeper and Kerolin looking to make that run in behind, because we know Kerolin's strength is breaking into space. She's fantastic at timing runs in behind. She's a really composed finisher in those 1v1 situations. I think we saw that best in the Chelsea game, where she just kept getting in behind. But they never really made that happen against Brighton, and Brighton play a really high line. So you think that's something they could have exploited. Now, Liverpool play a similarly high line. I think for City today, the importance is going to be on out of possession shape. Liverpool are the side this season with the longest sequences. They play the most passes before making something happen or progressing the ball. So they're going to have a lot of possession today in deep phases. And if City can be very aggressive and press Liverpool in those phases, they can look to try and turn the ball over high up the pitch and make something happen from there. So I think that's something that City have really got to focus on today. It's something they've had a lot of joy with. They did at the start of the Brighton game, but they got a lot of upside from that. They had a lot of opportunities where they probably should have done better. And that's something I think today they'll focus on. I think Liverpool are a side to, if you are very well drilled in your press, you can find a way of turning the ball over high up the pitch. But yeah, I think Liverpool are still a difficult opponent, and that'll be interesting to see how they play. Let's take a look at the Liverpool team. A 4-2-3-1 for Gareth Taylor's side. In goal, it's Jennifer Fout, the most clean sheets in the WSL since she joined in January. In the back four, it's Shimizu, Clark, Fisk and Bernabe. A midfield pivot of O'Sullivan alongside Nagano. On one wing, it's Enderby. On the other, I believe, will be Beta Olsen. Holland in the 10. And leading the line, it's Aurelie Silag. Now, a very different configuration to attack. Let's start there, Harry. How are you expecting that to line up?
I think that, as you say, it's going to shift up. See Olsen or Silag go out wide. I'd expect it to be Olsen. I think that Silag is a very deliberate introduction to come and offer a physical challenge to Kanak and to Rose, and that will be a very interesting battle to see if Silag can use her physicality to get into the game and cause the City centre half problems. And I think that is the right call. They didn't create enough against West Ham, and they weren't clinical enough. And I think that is why we have seen the changes that we have. Yes, Kapok's also scored an own goal, but I don't think that's the main reason for exclusion. That bit of misfortune, but yeah, I think it makes sense shifting it over. Enderby as well can offer a bit of a threat on that right hand side in the transition, and we know that she had done very well at this season at being a little bit more direct. So I think that it makes sense. It'll be very interesting to see how Olsen does get on that left-hand side if she is to start there. But I think the main one for me, I think bringing in Silag is definitely the right call, because this is her type of game to really get up and get involved with the likes of Kanak, and it's just test them a little bit, because if you can get Silag to hold it up, draw Nak in, and then someone like Olsen can get in behind, you're going to cause City a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think Liverpool have got to gamble on back post crosses, because they're going to have a lot of threat making those runs towards the back post. I think those players in those positions have got to believe they can get to the ball at any opportunity, and I think that they've got to just put balls across the box and hope someone will meet it at the back post. Jeremy raising a good point as well. I was mildly distracted by Yamashita's hair, which we will get to. But Jeremy making a good point, saying Shimizu starting for Liverpool is odd to say the least. So there obviously is there's obviously no clause there that says she can't play against her parent club. That is part of a loan agreement. You can decide either way based on the fact she is starting. I don't think Liverpool are ignoring the rules. So yeah, I imagine that there's no clause that says she can't do that. It's got to be an interesting situation. I believe Shimizu has an option to buy. Do Liverpool have an option to buy on Shimizu at the end of the loan deal, or is she out of contract this summer? I think either way, there's a very good chance she'll be a Liverpool player permanently next season. So I don't think it's too weird. It's not a situation where she's going to play against City here, beat them, and then end up playing back at City next season. I imagine she'll move permanently to Liverpool. Let's talk about Yamashita's hair, though, because we've done 10 minutes of serious build-up. Harry, Yamashita sporting a new look.
I mean, it's quite something, isn't it? Changing out what people were calling the M&M look to a bright blue, a kind of, it is quite of a Manchester City blue, bit of a darker Manchester City blue, but it's certainly something. I think that no matter what the hairstyle change, she'll be hoping it's a bit of a change in fortunes as well. I think a goalkeeper that has struggled in certain games this season, had another difficult performance last time out, and maybe a change of hair is what she needs to get her back in the good performances.
Yeah, well, it could be, like goalkeepers back in the 90s wore the really colourful shirts to put attackers off.
Maybe.
If you're running through and see a blue-haired Yamashita running at you, you might just be put off and put the shot wide. So maybe that's what they're going for today. Players heading out of the tunnel, though, so let's dive into our predictions. If you're watching along to the show, get involved in the live chat and let us know your scoreline prediction. Let's start here in the studio, though, Harry, and you can get us started. As always, what is your prediction as Manchester City host Liverpool?
I'm going to back City to take the victory. I think that, of course, there'll be lots of people, especially Arsenal fans, hoping that City do slip up here, but I think they'll have what it takes to see off Liverpool and go one step closer to taking the title. Look, they're up for it at the Joey, and of course they are. They know how important this game is for their season and for the fact they're only 2 games away from taking the title. So I do think City will win this game. I will say 2-0 to Manchester City, a goal from Khadija Shaw in the first half, and then I'll say Lauren Hemp to close the game out late on in the second half and take a massive 3 points for Man City.
Yeah, I don't know what to go for today. I do think City will win, though. I correctly predicted, I believe, that Brighton would get something against City last week. I just don't see City slipping up now, though, at this stage in the season. The fact they're at home, the fact that I think that they're a much stronger side than Liverpool, whereas Brighton, I think, are a really good team, and Brighton are really well set up to play against the stronger teams in the league. Liverpool haven't really got results against the big sides. I mean, they got a draw against Chelsea, I believe, earlier this season, but they did also lose 9-1 to Chelsea. They've been battered, I think, by Liverpool. So yeah, they haven't had a great record against the top sides. They did hold City really well, and City found a way that day. I just think I can't see past City playing at home. So I'm going to say a 2-0 victory. Nothing. What do you go for?
I said 2-0.
Oh, I'm not going to say 2-0 then. I want to go something different. 3-0. Just suddenly remembered I had completely ignored what you said. I'm going to say 3-0 City with a Khadija Shaw goal, a Yoa Pacino goal. I will say Rebecca Kanak as well. I think it's been way too long since Kanaka scored from a corner. That
is true. We haven't seen that. And I think that City have got to use things like this in these kind of games when the pressure's on. If you, that's what I thought I'd do against Brighton. If they just managed to put a corner home, suddenly it might changes the game a little bit. But yeah, they need to start well here. And as you say, they've got to try and call upon that threat. I think Liverpool, to be fair, are decently aggressive side in the air. They've got quite a few aerial threats, especially in that back line. So it'll be interesting how that set-piece battle does go. But yeah, City, have no matter how the victory comes today, they've got to find a way to get the win across the line.
Yeah, a load of predictions coming in then. GT saying 4-1 Man City. Carl, welcome to the stream, says 3-1 City as well. Phil says can't see past a big City win here in the poll in chat is 78%. Manchester City, 14% Liverpool, and 8% a draw. So City carrying strong favour in the live chat then. Will they carry it on the pitch? Will they find a victory that will put them in touching distance of the WSL title? Well, it is City to get us underway here at the Joey Stadium this Sunday morning as they are into game week 21 of a WSL season they all hope ends in glory. But they have faltered in recent weeks. Can they find a way? Can they just get the title over the line. They're hoping today they can go one step closer. City will now get us underway. Carroll in from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle. Knocks it back. We're underway here at the Joey Stadium. It's Andre Jeglertz's Manchester City against Gareth Taylor's Liverpool. Will City take one step closer to the title? Hasegawa picking up on this loose ball early on. Looks to knock it down the line. It's turned over by Holland. And Liverpool in possession then. Back to Fisk. Fisk going to go a little bit more direct. Looking for Peter Olsen. And Rose is physical. Wins the ball back and knocks it out of play. Does look to be Holland then starting on the left-hand side and a two-striker formation for Liverpool. Are they perhaps trying to isolate Kanak and Rose up against their forward players?
Yeah, I think it's, it's not a bad way to go about it, especially with the frailties that we saw in the Brighton game. If I mentioned the presence of Silag, but if you can get Silag and Olsen to work together and, you as you say, you can isolate Knack and Rose, but also pull them apart from each other. If you can open up those spaces, then you're going to get chances today. So I think it's the right way to go about it, really, if you're Gareth Taylor.
Yeah, great pressure there from Olsen, forcing Yamashita to launch that out of play. That's a Liverpool throw-in high up the pitch.
They need to settle early doors, City. There'll be a little bit of nerves, a little bit of pressure coming into this game, but if they can settle down and get an early goal, all of that will just be relieved.
Kanak nods it away. O'Sullivan now heading down to Nagano. One back in midfield though by Hasegawa. Hemp goes down the left-hand side, trying to find that direct ball into Khadija Shaw. Liverpool winning back possession. Falk. Happy and comfortable on the ball is Jennifer Falk. Lifts it out to the left-hand side. And here is Bernabe. Bernabe looking down the line for Gino. Pressing aggressively. Almost turns it over. Doesn't quite manage to do so, though, as it falls to Denise O'Sullivan. And now Falk. Out to the right-hand side. Clark. They're going to lift it in behind. That's a ball into the channel, and it's something for Silag to chase it, who's got the wrong side of Kanak. Can she find a teammate in the box? Plays it across, looking for Holland at the back post. Both Holland and Kasparai slip, and it falls to nothing, but O'Sullivan now picks up on the loose ball. Here's Bernabe. Now Fisk. Looking for an option, Grace Fisk. Now Nagano, Fisk into Holland. Holds it up nicely, and here's Bernabe. Bernabe looks down the line for Holland. Liverpool have space to work with here. She's going to lift it across the box, and Silag heads over. But Liverpool putting City under pressure early on here.
Yeah, brilliant. And already 2 minutes in, showing exactly why Silag has come in to start this game. It was a brilliant ball down the line from Clark initially, and Silag's just got the pace advantage over Kanak in that space, and with Greenwood caught high, it's going to cause problems. And then once again here, they managed to recycle it well on the left-hand side. It's a good ball in from Holland. And because everyone's been drawn across and Rose has got to go out to it, Knack's at the front post.
Great pressure here again as Liverpool turn over. O'Sullivan shoots, and it's a big save from Ayaka Yamashita. But City have started slowly again here.
Again, just playing out. It's too slow. It's brilliant from Liverpool. And it's very rare you see Yui Hasegawa get caught on the ball. Brilliant from Denise O'Sullivan, and the shot is a good effort, looking to go towards the near post, and Yamashita pulling off a good save, but a rocky start for Man City.
Yeah, they've just been aggressive out of possession, Liverpool, and that's a couple times now where they've forced mistakes or had high turnovers. Holland lifts it in towards the back post. It's headed on by Khadija Shaw, and that will result in another Liverpool corner.
Yeah, not the start though. Not the start City wanted. I mentioned they just need to settle into the game, alleviate the nerves and get an early goal. But this is not. But it's perfect if you're Liverpool. But this has not been the start that City wanted, just to try and settle into the game. But Liverpool are causing them all kinds of problems.
Indeed. Liverpool with another corner then. They have got some aerial threat of their own. We talk about City's set-piece record with Clark and Fisk in there. There are players to aim here. Aim for here, Liverpool. Holland. That's a good delivery. It's taken away from Clark. It falls in the box. Can anyone touch it home? A huge block from Kanak. And how on earth have Liverpool not found a leader there?
Oh, wow. Another big chance. And again, City just don't deal with it. It's Fisk at the back. It gets the better of Kasparai and puts it onto the post. And then it's the foot of Yamashita that just takes it away from Silag on the rebound. So close for Liverpool.
And they're coming forwards again here. Bernabe can't quite find the cross. It's blocked out for another throw. Bernabei surveying her options here. Can Liverpool keep on this early pressure? Holland holding the ball up well. Does Firmino commit the foul? Holland does well to stay on her feet. And Firmino launching the ball away as she wins it back. It's been a really quick start for Liverpool. They've kind of targeted the same weakness as Brighton did, right? They're pressing aggressively and turning the ball over. They're looking to play quickly into the channels where, particularly against the left-hand side of City's defence, there seems to be a lot of space and they've got a real pace advantage.
Yeah, that they're going to have to adjust or realise something because at the moment, Olsen and Silag are isolating Rose and Kanak, and they're beating them in those one-on-ones.
We've seen what's been quite interesting to watch this season for City is that as the season progressed, Greenwood had taken a more aggressive, more attacking role, and I just don't think that works for her, and I also don't think it works for Kanak because you've got a player in Greenwood who is stepping up and doesn't have the pace to get back in. And so you've turned the ball over there. Firmino feeds through to Shaw. Too much on that though. Sullivan just got caught in possession. Not Fish, sorry, got caught in possession. And if it wasn't for that poor pass from Firmino, City may well have been in there. But what that does is by pushing Greenwood higher is that it leaves Kanak having to defend that wide space, which isn't her strength at all. She's not the quickest. She's not the most agile.
Yeah.
And you're leaving her a lot of space to try and cover. Ball lifted over the top. Carolyn's made the run in behind. Has she stayed on side? No, she hasn't. Did look to have gone too early there, Carolyn.
Yeah, has to time that better because she's got the pace advantage. She'll beat Shimizu out on that far side. It was this time, but she'll beat anyone in that Liverpool back four for an out-and-out pace. Doesn't need to go early, just times it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, ever so slightly, to be fair. Wasn't a load in it from Carolyn, just went too early. And I think she complains that she wasn't offside. I think she should be more annoyed that pass perhaps didn't go sooner.
Yeah.
Rose into Hasegawa. Spins and plays it down the line. Fisk will get across there, though, and wins back possession. Ball sent forwards by Falk, flicked around the corner by Holland. And Rose wins it back, and now here is Coffey. Greenwood. Hemp. That's a brilliant footwork from Lauren Hemp. And now looks to lift it in behind, searching for Firmino. And that will bounce on through to Falk. Lloyd says Greenwood has been poor in attack all year, too slow and below par end product. I mean, she's not an attacker, is she? She's not an attacking fullback either in the sense of someone like a Kirsten Kasperai. She's very much a centre-half who can play that wider position. Kanak putting her head in there where it's going to hurt, just getting caught by Silag will be a City free kick. But it's been interesting. Obviously, they brought in Sam Coffey, and because she's a bit more of a defensive player and they can rely on her to be an anchor in that midfield, they've given that licence to Greenwood to get forward a little bit more. And it's just leaving too much space, whereas I don't think it's having the desired impact. I don't think Greenwood is giving more in an attacking sense than they're losing in a defensive sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of those where it just feels like one of those changes that was a little bit unnecessary. You know, they were defensively solid and they were scoring goals for fun pretty much. So I think
especially when you're trying to set out a league title, you go more defensive rather than trying to evolve in a more attacking way. And you think that evolution is something you perhaps save for the summer when you can work on it. But yeah, Liverpool have had more joy in the first 8 minutes here than City have. 3 shots to none. 0.63 XG. They'll be a little bit frustrated. They haven't taken any of those chances.
Yeah, been a brilliant start. And I think that although this will be concerning with Kanak down injured, it's given City players on the pitch a chance to huddle up and regroup. And the defensive unit are having quite an in-depth conversation about how they're going to try and handle the fact that for the first 9 minutes they've been bullied about.
Yeah, that was a nasty one there on Rebecca Kanak. No intention from Aurelie Silag. She was challenging fairly for the ball and just collided with Kanak, who had lowered her head. It's one of those where it's unfortunate one, but I don't think there's much Silag can do there. She's challenging fairly for the ball, and Kanak has lowered her head into the challenge. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they both ran for the ball. Silag's just got there a tad late, but that's exactly what you're going to get with Silag on the pitch. Is someone that is going to throw herself at Rebecca Kanak, which not many players do because they usually come out worse. But that is going to be a big battle, and in the first 10 minutes here, it's a battle that Silag is winning.
Now Machita on the ball. Silag applies the press. City playing to the right-hand side. Rose finds Kasperai out wide. Looks to go down the line, and Holland has won it back. Tries to play it quickly towards Olsen. Rose will do well to get around her. And clears the ball away. Fagino tries to touch it inside, and Nagano wins back possession. I can't think of any 10-minute spells this season where City have only had 37% possession.
Wow.
Liverpool have had all of the ball in the opening encounter. Nagano across to O'Sullivan. Now with Bernabei. Looks down the line. Holland. Bernabei. O'Sullivan. Bouncing it back to Fisk. Fisk looks to lift it over the top. Can she find Holland in behind? 1v1 up against Kasperai. Holland does well to bring this under her control, and the flag follows, which I have to say I find a little bit confusing.
Yes. I mean,
she appeared to run from a really deep position, no?
Yeah, here we go. Getting a look at it. I mean, I think there's about 3 players playing onside there. It's a bit of an unfortunate one for Holland. But again, City just... It's too easy for Liverpool at the moment. It's really easy. And I think that will be the concern with the Brighton game with the start here, is that we've seen it sometimes, Chelsea had it, and, all champions do have it, where there's a couple of results don't go their way at times, because opposition might nick a result or against the run of play, grab a goal. But the Brighton performance in the first 11 minutes here, they've been outplayed. And that is a bigger concern than just slipping up, once or twice.
Ball in behind for Olsen. Rose gets across and knocks it out of play. Throw in on this near side then for Liverpool. Who, have done really well to start here. It's fascinating to see, because Liverpool's second half of the season, the form table has them 5th, right?
Mm.
And is that sustainable going into next season?
I mean, if they invest in the summer, similarly to how they did in January, then absolutely, you look at the squad that they've got now, and I think that it is on par, if not better, with the likes of Tottenham and the likes of Brighton. If it wasn't for such a poor start to the season, then I think that they'd be right in that top half, best of the rest battle.
Yeah, I mean, they've barely taken a point in the first half of the season, and now we're sat here in May, and, they've been incredible in 2026. They're into, of course, the FA Cup semi-finals. We'll be live for that next weekend. Make sure to join us here for that. It's been a fantastic end to the season. If they can carry that momentum into next campaign, and it could be a really strong one. But you've got a fascinating almost bottleneck in the league now, because it feels like there's a lot of teams that aren't quite good enough to break into the top 4, but all want to finish 5th.
Yeah.
Now, you consider Tottenham, I would put Brighton in there, Liverpool, and of course London City have the aspirations to be there as well. So it's going to be fascinating to see who can actually manage that next season.
Yeah. But I think that what's encouraging for those kind of sides is that there may be opportunities next season to jump into that top 4. You look at the former United, that 1 win in 9 now. Again, we're seeing sides like Brighton and Liverpool and Tottenham go and get results against the top 4. So I think there will be opportunities next year for one of those 2 sides to try and sneak into the big 4.
Rise on to the stream. City have the Yips. It's weird. And also, I have a special badge. Yes, welcome to the stream. Ryzen, looks like your membership must be, I can't remember what the thing is, but that must be 6 months. So thank you so much for your support. And a reminder, if you do want to help support the channel, the best way to do it is through memberships. We'll try to make it as cheap as possible so people can support us. But, making it also manageable with the current economic climate of the world, really. I was going to say the UK, but yes, if you do want to support us, that is the best way. And thank you, Ryzen, loving the special badge in the live chat. City trying to find a way to hold on to the ball here, but it's Liverpool back in possession. Here's Fisk. And now with Falk. Tries to play out, and it's picked off by Carolyn, but she can't keep it under her control. Nagano, O'Sullivan. High press here from City as they try and pounce on that mistake. Bernabei pokes it back to Fisk. Can Liverpool now find some space in behind? Olsen picks up the ball here, dropping in to receive. Now out wide into Risa Shimizu. Shimizu's going to go direct, and Silag breaks into the right channel. Now needs support as Greenwood gets back in. Enderby, though, quick to offer support and wins back possession. Inside now to O'Sullivan. Here is Bernabei. And now knocks it wide into Holland. Holland Cuts inside, lifts it towards the back post, and it's nodded on by Kanak, was it? Yes, it was. Liverpool corner to follow.
Yeah, again, brilliant from Liverpool. The front two are working so well. It all comes because Olsen holds the ball up, drives inside, and brings Rhodes all the way with her. So then gives it to Shimizu, who can then go direct into Silag. And again, it's Silag in a one-on-one with Rebecca Kanak. It's really good play from Liverpool. The choice to go with the front two tape from Gareth Taylor, he's absolutely nailed it. And in this first 15 minutes, they have been pulling those City centre-halves left, right and centre. And they've kept the pressure on really well. And they've got another great opportunity here. Already hit the post from a corner.
Holland lifts it in there. Clark nods it goalwards and nods it wide of the mark.
But again, though, it's another Liverpool centre-half. He's managed to wriggle free, give herself half a yard to get the header away. Up against Rose this time. It's always difficult to head home an outswinger. Does well to head it in the direction of the goal, but would have taken something quality to head that home from there.
Update then on the other game in the WSL. Tottenham taking on London City, and it's 1-0 to Tottenham. Sinja Gautset with the goal in that game as they take the lead against London City. That is a big goal for Tottenham. That will secure themselves in 5th place. And they can't finish any higher now, but that would mean they can't finish any lower, of course, as well. A great season for them. Pass back now to Yamashita. To be fair, I think they've secured 5th either way after Brighton's draw. Yesterday they needed to beat Manchester United to keep the pressure on Tottenham in that position. Falk into Fisk. And she's trying to find Bernabei, but it's just slightly overhit there by Grace Fisk. And now for a City throw-in.
The encouragement for City would be that there has been a couple of errors and a couple of mishaps that Liverpool have got away with. But it'll be encouraging for City because there's a chance they can just get a goal against a run of play that will get them back into the game.
Short tries to hold the ball up, lifts it through towards the left-hand side. Shimizu, though, is able to make the interception. Liverpool now can play out, and it's O'Sullivan. Carries the ball forward, now finds Olsen. And there's space here for Liverpool to exploit, trying to carry it forwards. Sagar does enough, though, to run her into the path of Rose. And City win back possession. Shaw into Carolyn, who can't quite hold on to it. It'll run through to Jennifer Falk.
Yeah, mistakes from both forwards there. First, Beta Olsen should have just backed herself, should have gone down the line and backed herself to beat Jade Rose in that pace battle. And then Carolyn there just can't trap the ball. Went a little bit too far in front of her maybe from Shaw, but probably should have taken it under her control.
Silag touching it back to Enderby, and Enderby is brought down. And that will be a Liverpool free kick.
Yeah, again, brilliant from Silag. Good hold, centre forward hold up play. Enderby does well. Looks to just skip past Coffee and yeah, gets tripped up. Gets her legs taken out from underneath her there.
Ball down the channel again as Silag receives. Now Enderby. Inside to Nagano, who touches it on to O'Sullivan. Olsen drops to receive. Nagano, Enderby, Silag. In the City penalty area, can she get a shot away or can she find a teammate? Does fire one off and it's blocked by Greenwood. Out for Liverpool corner.
They've got to change something. City have got to change something because if Silag is and Olsen are going to keep getting down the channels as often as they are at the moment, then Liverpool are going to score sooner at some point in this game. You know, yeah. Again, it's so easy for Silag. Just gets in there, gets there before Knack, and they work it into a really good move and they've won another corner.
Doesn't feel like there's a back four on the pitch for Man City. So much space for Liverpool at the moment. Kerry Holland has the most assists for Liverpool this season. Has already created 3 chances in this game. Can she do it again from this corner? Holland lifts it in there into the middle of the penalty area. It bounces around and it bounces through to Ayaka Yamashita. And it does appear Kanak has been caught in there by someone. No one in a Liverpool shirt. They're able to get a touch on that. If it could have caused real danger for Manchester City. It just hit Kanak in the face there. And bobbled towards our own net. Yamashita on hand to claim it, though.
Yeah, I tell you what, Knack didn't know much about that either. Just bouncing through, and yeah, luckily it hit Knack on the face and went through to Yamashita. That could have bounced, that could have ricocheted off her and gone anywhere. But again, it's just the organisationally for City. They're just all over the place. How can that ball be allowed to bounce through the penalty area?
Rose for Gino. Touches it back to Hasegawa, who does well there to receive under pressure. Rose for Gino. Back to Jade Rose, who's just got to carry it forward here. There's so much space. Kerolin tries to find Shaw, and Liverpool win back possession. Nagano can't quite find Olsen with the pass. Or Sullivan, sorry, now with Hasegawa. Rose. To Yui Hasegawa.
Miedema's a massive miss. Again, 20 minutes here. Kerolin just really struggling.
Well, they don't have someone to go long to. So Rose now tries to send it forward. Shaw's going to drop to receive at feet. Hasegawa knocks it back to Coffey. Now City got a bit more space to try and find an option. Lifts out towards the left-hand side, and an ambitious pass just slightly behind Lauren Hemp, who can't keep it in touch.
Yeah, poor ball from Coffey, really. Player of her quality should be... I mean, it's an ambitious pass. But she'll be disappointed that she couldn't pick out Lauren Hemp on that left-hand side and just gives Liverpool the ball back, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Karen does well there to win it back. But it is a foul then, I believe, so it will be a Liverpool throw-in. Free kick or throw? Not 100% sure what's been given. Here it is a throw. And they're taking their time to go and collect the ball. City with substitutes warming up, though I don't think they'll be making any early changes. I certainly don't think it'll be Laura Coons and Layla Harvey who they turn to. If they are. But I guess that's the issue for City as well, is that you look at the bench today, and you mentioned there they need to change something. Like, what do you change?
I don't think it's personnel-wise, though. I think they've...
Towards Fagino now on the right-hand side. Needs some support. Pokes it into Kasparite. And Bernabé comes across, and Kasparite runs out of play. And there's a growing frustration at Manchester City. They've not created anything. I don't know what their record is this season for minutes gone without a shot, but 21's got to be up there.
Yeah, I mean, that is just, it's not good enough. For any team in the division, let alone the side who are currently leading it and are meant to be 2 games away from winning the league. They look nothing of the sort at the moment.
Yeah, 0 shots, 0 touches in the opposition box as well. They haven't got the ball forwards and only 35% possession. Dominance so far from the 11th place side against the 1st place side. What a league we have. Incredibly competitive. Or 10th place side, sorry, in Liverpool. Rose does get brought down there, and it will be a City free kick. They've got to get the ball forward here.
Yeah.
Got to use it as some sort of set-piece opportunity.
You haven't had a shot, you haven't had a touch in the opposition box. Just put it into the penalty area and just hope that one of your players can get a flick on. But yeah, the positive will be that the one stat that does matter at the end of the 90 minutes is the scoreline. And right now it is still level. Liverpool haven't managed to turn this early dominance into a scoreline lead.
No, that's true. They've had the chances too. Sam Coffey over this deep free kick then. Got to get this in the box. Coffey will lift it into the area, and it's headed away by Silag. Greenwood. Now back to Coffey. Greenwood zipping it back to Yui Hasegawa on the halfway line. Here's for Gino. Liverpool being forced backwards here. Greenwood forced all the way back, goes to Ayaka Yamashita, and from a City free kick, they've ended up at their goalkeeper pretty quickly. Hemp trying to go down the line. That's blocked by Holland. And now Liverpool can take their shape. Greenwood goes back to Kanak, and Silag is going to put the pressure on here and follows it as it goes back to Yamashita. Now Rose, and that triggers Olsen to press. Coffey. O'Sullivan all over her there. Denise O'Sullivan. Great pressure, and Rose clearing the ball away. Shaw drops to receive. Does well to get it under her control. Fist stays tight to her. Does try to squeeze it out to the left-hand side there, Shaw. But she struggles so much in this game, Khadija Shaw, to get touch on the ball and make anything happen.
Yeah, they're getting a bit more joy with her dropping in now, but it's she hasn't got that passing ability, that passing range that Miedema has in that role. And there's just a couple of times where the ball to Kerolin or the ball out wide to Hemp has just not come off.
Yeah, Musa LFC, thank you so much for the £1.99 donation. Says, thoughts on Liverpool's front three next season? of Kerry Holland, Beta Orson, and Vivian Enderman. Don't think we've spoken yet about Vivian Enderman going to Liverpool. I did a tweet about it, but incredible signing. I think it just... What Liverpool have now in attacking areas is quality and quality in depth. Because they've got Olsen and Silag, and obviously Thomas on loan at the moment. Will they make that permanent? Possibly. That gives them a lot of depth up front. They've got Bergstrom who can play on the right. They've got Joseph Dahl now back from injury as well, who can play on either flank. They've got Kapox, who is better on the left, but can also play in the 10. They've got Holland, who can play on either wing. There's just so much quality. Enderby as well on the right has had a much better season under Gareth Taylor. And then they're bringing Enderman into the pack as well. Chance now for him, who cuts it back for sure. A big save from Falk. And it's poked wide there. Vino Garno almost put it in her own net. But City there with the first chance of the game, and really, they should have taken the lead.
Yeah, it comes from nothing. It's just a long ball, and Lauren Hemp, for the first time in the game, manages to get the wrong side of Shimizu, who should really do better in that situation, gets bullied far too easily and allows Hemp to get the wrong side of her, cuts it back to Shaw, who's left unmarked, and it's a big save from Falk. Nagano does well here. I'm not really sure why Shimizu lets this go for a corner. She could have just cleared it away and got rid of the ball, but...
Twice there, Shimizu should have just cleared it, really.
Yeah.
The corner routine has somehow... I mean, we cut back to the corner and they've immediately given the ball away with a short pass.
I have no idea what happened there. But yeah, maybe that's why they didn't put the loan tie in for Shimizu.
Yeah.
Play her against us, then if we need the point, she can have a really bad game.
And Shimizu there does well. Hemp runs out of play, and that will be a Liverpool goal kick. But, I mean, to be fair, she's not done much wrong, Shimizu. No. I mean, Hemp has barely touched the ball. But yeah, I'd like to see a replay of that corner, because I had no idea what happened there. We cut back, and City had just immediately lost the ball.
Yeah. I'm guessing they must have gone short, and then it got blocked or something, but that was far too quick for that to happen. Who knows? But, again, this is where all the fundamentals come in for Liverpool, is that they've given away that chance, but because it's Falcon goal, because she makes that big save and they do well to deal with the second ball, they're still level.
But City do seem to have found a bit more confidence, do seem to have found the space. Here's Hemp coming forward. Shimizu does well to stop the crossing immediately and then blocks the second cross, and it's out for a City corner.
Better from Shimizu, more assertive on the first attempt, then gets back in and makes the block with the second chance. But again, it's good from hold-up play from Shaw, drops in, gets it out wide to Hemp, who is getting on the ball a bit more now in the last couple of minutes.
Starting to get Lauren Hemp into the game, which is really important. The most chance created of any player in the WSL this season. They've got to get the ball to her more often in this game, with the fewest touches in the first 25 minutes. And now they're actually finding her. They're starting to create something. City then with a corner. And well, they won't make the same mistakes they did on the previous one. Now put this one into the penalty area. The delay here. Sam Coffey whips it in there towards the middle of the penalty area, but it's Clark who rises highest. Enderby puts it directly back up in the air. O'Sullivan wins a second ball. An overhead kick attempt from Lauren Hemp doesn't quite come off. And that chance for City goes begging. They will try and recycle it though. Greenwood. Out to the left-hand side with Coffey. Hemp now makes the run down the line. Coffey will try and find her, but O'Sullivan tracks the run. And she'll see that ball out of play.
Yeah. And again, we spoke about the aerial prowess for Liverpool, and it's just another one where City's corners are ineffective there. Clark's the one who rises highest, and it's just a great header to get the ball clear.
Indeed, a second goal at the Bet Right Stadium, and it looks like an incredible strike there from Olivia Holt as Tottenham extend their advantage. It's Tottenham 2, London City Lionesses now.
That does help me in area of fantasy. I was debating whether to get rid of Holt and Gautset, and I got rid of Gautset, and I was disappointed initially, but Holt has got me back in the game there.
I benched both my Tottenham players, which is starting now to feel like a terrible decision.
Yes.
But I had so many doublers and obviously triplers with Liverpool that I couldn't really justify benching any of those. I didn't want to bench my one City player I've got left. I didn't want to bench my Chelsea players against Leicester, so I have benched Gautset 6 points, and Koga is probably going to get about 9 at this rate. But yeah, Olivia Holt with another ridiculously good goal for her catalogue this season. What a campaign she's having. And yes, Tottenham as a whole have had a really positive season. City now going forwards, breaking to the right-hand side. Here's Kirsten Kasperai. Lifts the ball in towards the back post. Shaw now heading wide of the mark. But City starting to create more chances.
Yeah, Liverpool will be really frustrated they didn't make that early dominance count, because City are really growing into this game with much better reaction. It's Hemp again, gets on the ball, runs in deep and plays a brilliant switch into Kasparov, who had plenty of space. It's a great ball in. Clark, though, does enough to put Shaw off, and the header going over from Khadija Shaw, but really good from City in the last 5 minutes, who have just seemed to have woken up in this game.
Yeah, indeed. And they're starting to get chances for Khadija Shaw, and that has to worry Gareth Taylor and the Liverpool bench. Olsen trying to head forwards. Kanak heading it back the other way. Now O'Sullivan wriggles free and tries to play it in behind. It's blocked by Kasparov. Holland loops it up in the air. Silag brings it down uncontested, but loses the second ball and has dropped from an offside position either way. So City free kick. Rose. Short into Fagino. Back to Jade Rose. Now Coffey. Kasparov flicking round the corner, but to no avail as Liverpool recover possession. Here's Clark. He's going to lift it along to the left-hand side. Holland now in this wide position. Tries to chop back in, but Kasparov comes and wins back possession.
Yes, what Liverpool need to do is just keep trying to apply pressure and be on the front foot. Don't allow City to completely take the momentum.
Well, Liverpool probing now from this position on the left-hand side. Bernabé with the throw-in. Short to O'Sullivan, who turns nicely. Goes back into Clark. Shimizu. Plays it down the line to Enderby. Enderby into Nagano. Back to Enderby. Lovely give and go. She gets around Greenwood. Greenwood commits the foul, and that's going to be a free kick in a good position for Liverpool. And a yellow card given to Alex Greenwood.
Yeah, stonewall yellow card. Brilliant from Enderby. Spoke about the directness that she's added to her game this season. She just runs across Greenwood, and Greenwood's either got to let her go there or commit the foul and be booked, and opts to pull back Enderby. Easy free kick. And brilliant though from Enderby, forcing.
Blatant foul there from the Manchester City captain. Her fourth for the season. And a free kick in a really good position now for Liverpool. Got to make this count.
Yeah. Would you try just a cheeky cut back to the edge of the area here with Nagano? Just sat on the edge by herself? You know, there aren't many City players that are going to get out to it. Let's see what they're up to do. Look at the space for Nagano on the edge.
Holland will lift it in there. It bounces through. Can anyone turn it home? Not quite. And perhaps Holland would have wished that she'd listened to you, Harry.
Yeah.
Played it to the edge of the area, but lots of space in there. And there's been a couple crosses now where it just feels like someone in a Liverpool shirt has to get a touch on it.
Yeah. City aren't clearing the balls in. They're just bouncing around, and you know someone can eventually get half a touch on it, and it spills free. But you know it's bouncing in that penalty area, and it's not often that sides get away with letting the ball go, and or letting the ball bounce in the 6-yard box. Yeah, I can't believe she didn't cut it back there, unless there was a player off screen that we couldn't see. And Nagano had 10 yards at least to the nearest City player, and although she would have had to drive through bodies, I think she had plenty of time to pick out the shot.
Down the line from Shimizu, out for a City throw-in. Lloyd says Greenwood is City's Millie Bright. I think that's a little bit harsh. I think Greenwood's had a decent season. There's definitely been mistakes in there, but I don't think she's had a bad season at all. Here's O'Sullivan. I definitely don't think she's going to retire before the end of the season.
I think it's more she's a liability in the position and role that she's in, rather than being a liability as a player herself.
But also, I guess in the system, it's very transitional, where you've got Rose and Kasparov, you've got players who can deal with that, who are able to get back in and recover quite quickly. But I do just wonder whether left back will be a position where they look to go and make an elite level, world class level signing. You know, could they tempt I was going to say Salma Batcher, but that feels impossible. But that would be the dream, wouldn't it? That's the profile they'd like to sign. Sakina Karchawi is available this summer. It'll be interesting to see where she ends up on a free.
I think everyone would love a Selma Batcher in their team.
Yeah, if everyone could have a Selma Batcher, that would be great. But yeah, it's one of those where I never see her leaving Lyon, but you never know. She has already won everything that she could win with Lyonnaise. So that's right. Goes back to Rose. City do want to play out, and a foul there from Olsen. Jumped on to the ball and committed the foul, catching Rose. Yamashita plays it into Hasegawa, bounces it back to Coffey, who's under pressure from O'Sullivan there, carries to the right-hand side and shifts it wide to Kasparai. Back now to Rose. And here is Ayaki Yamashita.
For all the brilliance that Liverpool have shown in the first 35 minutes, I feel like Yamashita hasn't really been tested. Or tested at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've only got one shot on target, I believe.
Yeah, she made that good save from the O'Sullivan effort. But apart from that...
She had to save Rebecca Knack's header back at her own goal as well.
Yeah.
Rose lifting it forwards, headed away by Fisk. And now Bernabé drops to receive. Under pressure here from Hasegawa. And Fagino there. Intervening, but it's out for a Liverpool throw-in. Horizon says, Lola Brown did great yesterday. Hope we see her in the main squad at some point soon. I think she needs a loan in the WSL for me. And then potentially, yeah. Or a loan to the Damel Svenskan, something like that. I don't think she's ready to come in and play in the Chelsea first team. Now Greenwood. Kanak. Back to Yamashita. It's Kanak. City looking to play forwards inside now to Yui Hasegawa. Here's Shaw through the lines looking for Fagino. Just gets it slightly wrong. And Liverpool win back possession. Falk smashing it away and out for a City throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, important 8 minutes for both sides now. City would love to just grab a leading goal before the break. We saw last week how they got stung late on, and then it completely changed the fortunes of that match. So they'll also be wary of not conceding as we approach half-time.
Indeed. Eduardo saying on Brighton, Greenwood, and they've both been warriors instrumental to their team successes, but time passes. Yeah, I think that's a simple fact. Neither of them are quick enough, particularly to play the roles they play. It's the league has changed a lot since they started playing. I mean, you look at the quality and the level of the league when they started playing to where it is now. It's night and day. So yeah, understandably they haven't necessarily adjusted. I think they already had to adapt through a quite quick progression of the quality in the WSL, and yeah, I mean both were some of the best players in their positions.
Yeah,
in their day, but yeah, it's a simple case of time passing, as you say. Bernabé trying to play forwards. On back now midfield by City. Here is Greenwood. Into Kerolin. And now Hemp. Chops. And inside and out, trying to find a way through. One back though by Mia Enderby. Drops for Coffey. City probing at the end of this half. Greenwood. Hemp. Lifts it in there. Cleared away. Couple touches there from Liverpool as they nudge it further away. Fagino gives it back to Rose. City play from right to left. Greenwood. Into Kerolin. Lauren Hemp. Looking to carry the ball forward. Shifts it inside now to Kerolin. Shaw. And one back by Shimizu, and it's smashed away by Jennifer Falk. Nodded on by Aurelie Silak.
Liverpool doing well just to hold City at bay now, but yes, stats have definitely evened out. Still doesn't reflect incredibly well for City, but it's an improvement on the first 25 minutes.
Coffee. Now to Greenwood. Coffee plays to the left-hand side. Here's Lauren Hemp. Wants to carry the ball forwards, lifts it into the box, and it's cleared out for a corner by Shimizu, who I think's a bit frustrated there that she's given away another corner. I imagine the emphasis would have been on not conceding corners and deal with Hemp in that way, but she has dealt with Hemp. She stopped Hemp putting balls into the box, which is, also important.
Yeah. You can't risk letting that ball in with players like Khadija Shaw hanging around in the penalty area. Much safer just to make sure, get it out for a corner, and then you can regroup and clear your lines as a team, even with City's corner prowess.
Oh yeah, is it 15 goals from corners this season now for Manchester City? Coffee looping it in there, punched away by Falk, who seems to have caught her teammate in the process. I think there will be a momentary stoppage. Austin trying to get back to her feet and continue on as quickly as possible. So City are allowed to take the throw. Here is Hemp. For Gino. Now Rose. Stepping into midfield with the ball. Tries to slip it through the lines. One back in there by Bernabé. And Nagano is caught in the late challenge from Sam Coffey. And she will pick up a yellow card for that one.
Yeah, brilliant from Nagano. Lovely piece of footwork. Just to invite the challenge, not the ball past Coffey. And yeah, easy yellow card. Just brilliant.
Is that definitely a yellow card?
Yeah, I think so. Coffey's just come through, tripped her up. Yes, there's a player coming around, but Nagano's trying to break forwards, and Coffey is nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just wanted to get your explanation. Falk sending it forwards. Connect stepping in and knocking it out of play. Cross Jeff asks, anyone had a good chance yet? Both sides, really. Khadija Shaw having City's only real opportunity. Liverpool had a number in the first 10 minutes, but couldn't take any. Silag, Holland. Now Bernabé through the lines into Holland. Coffey wins it back. Rose stepping forwards. Here is Mia Enderby. Knocks it wide now. Already Silag takes aim and fires wide of the mark.
Yeah, should be disappointed, Silag. Should be disappointed with that one. Should do better. Again, it's good pressure initially to force Rose into the mistake, and the layout's a little bit wide from Enderby, but it's not bad. I think Silag will feel like she should have hit the target from that kind of range.
Men's 8. And the City fans, they're having to dodge the flying shot of already Silag.
So that guy did very well to save his drink.
Yeah. It looked like he was going to let it hit the bloke next to him in order to save his drink, but they did manage to sort it out. It's for Gino. Back into Rose. Short. Drops in to receive. Hasegawa tries to play forwards. Nagano wins it back. Here's Enderby. Twisting and turning, but it's one back in there by Carolyn, who carry the ball forwards now. Options to the left and right for Carolyn. Tries to find Lauren Hemp. Shimizu makes a good tackle. He'll drop again for Carolyn. Lovely footwork. Can she get the shot away? Gives it to Hemp. Now wide to Greenwood. Got a bit of delivery here from Alex Greenwood. In towards the area. It bounces around. It's cleared away without issue by Bernabé. Greenwood. Now Coffey. Back to Greenwood. Who knocks it back to Rebecca Kanak. And now Rose. Hasegawa. Wide into over for Gino. Lovely footwork from Gino, and Holland winning back the ball and then winning her side of throwing.
Yeah, Liverpool just looking to get into the break with this, with the game level. As I say, they were disappointed. They're not ahead really, but with the way City have really upped the game in the last 10-15 minutes, I think they'd be happy at this point just to get in at half time with the score 0-0.
Yeah. Clark clearing it out of play. And that is a City corner. And this is the exact kind of situation where City could threaten the deadlock. City do have options off their bench if they can't find a way through, though. Very Fowler, Iman Bene, Grace Clinton, the players they'll be most likely to turn to. But City, with this corner now, hoping to find a breakthrough before the half. So, Greenwood's over this. Delivers it in on top of the goalkeeper and foul claims and goes to ground without issue. 2 minutes of additional time as well in this first half here at the Joey Stadium.
It's definitely been a problem for City, is that the goals from corners have dried up in the last couple of weeks.
Without Viviana Miedema, especially, they don't have the same threat because you can focus your players on Kanak and Shaw without then leaving Miedema.
Yeah.
But when you've got those 3 threats in there, that does seem to be that it's very difficult to manage all of those players. And we saw against United, it was Miedema who was just so open on corners. Kanak also scored one, a perfectly good goal that was ruled out.
Yeah.
Firmino, Kasperai, cut out by Bernabé, and now O'Sullivan will lift it over the top, and Holland's going to gamble on this because she's got a bit of space. Can she put the ball into the area? Rose blocks it well. Gets back in there. Silag carries it into the wide space. Now needs some support. Takes on Firmino. Uses her physicality well. Holland, wide to Bernabé. Got to deliver this in. That's a good ball in, but it's just past the head of Beta Olsen. Olsen's claiming that took a touch there on a City player, but the officials don't agree.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball. Absolutely brilliant ball from Bernabé. And that's where you want Silag at the back post. She had to come across and get involved, but that's where she would have been.
That's where you want a back post run from Enderby, though. I think she's got to be alert to that situation and burst into that space there. Coffey lashing the ball clear. It will drop for Fisk now, who can knock it long. Greenwood brings it under her control. Hemp trying to carry inside. Hasegawa. Greenwood. Lovely switch the play into Jade Rose. And that is the half-time whistle here at the Joey Stadium. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 0 at the break. The scoreline doesn't tell the full story of that first half. Liverpool started fast, had opportunities they really should have taken. Manchester City found a way back into the half, but never really got going. But they did start to wrestle a bit more control. They did start to create chances, and at the break, it's City 0, Liverpool 0.
Yeah, probably fair result going into the break. Both sides had their moments. Liverpool started, had dominated the first 25 minutes. City grew back into the game. Neither side has created, both sides have had some chances, but it's not been, an onslaught of big chances. But yeah, I think a level game, 0-0, is probably a fair reflection on that first half, and it's on one of these two sides to come out in the second half and find a way, past the other. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable 45 minutes, which sometimes you can't say for 0-0 games. But I think that there will be things that both sides will be pleased with, but also areas that especially Man City, will be quite concerned with.
Yeah, I think I think the same issues that we saw for City in the Brighton game are prevalent again against Liverpool, where there is space to exploit in behind. They are getting done in transitional moments. I think that they've been a little bit sloppy in possession. They're struggling up against the Liverpool press. And it's been a really intense press for Liverpool. Now, what City have relied on a lot this season is being able to, if they're up against sides who are going to press them very aggressively, they've always got that outlet of playing long. But that hasn't been there for City, and it wasn't there against Brighton as well, because they didn't have Viviana Miedema. There's a real reliance on having those two physical presences of Miedema and Shaw, which always gives them an outlet and always gives them someone to play to. But it's kind of been flipped today, where because Liverpool have used that two-striker formation with Olsen and Silag combining, they've had someone to play long to on either side. They've also had, because both the players are physical enough to receive the ball, but also quick enough and agile enough to break in behind, dynamic enough to break in behind. They've had so many different outlets, whereas it does feel like City's only opportunities at the moment are when Shaw is dropping deep, receiving the ball, and then looking to combine. And often she hasn't either been able to play the pass accurately or hasn't had the options around her in order to find a teammate. And the relationship between Miedemar and Caroline is non-existent. There doesn't seem to be any sort of understanding there. And they're really struggling, therefore, to be able to find someone to stick the ball to and make something happen in the final third.
Yeah, you need both of them for it to work, because even when Shaw has managed to find that pass, she's then not in the box to receive the cross from Hemp. You know, if you can get Caroline in behind, then that's a bit of a different story. But Caroline really hasn't got into this game at all. But the problem is that Shaw can't do both roles, which is what she's trying to do at the moment. She's trying to be the player who drops in and combines, but also be the leading number 9 who puts the ball in the back of the net. You know, once someone like Hemp puts the ball in, but she can't do both those things because it's impossible. And
she's also not the same player as Viviana Miedemar.
No,
I think Shaw is much more physical than Miedemar. I think she's a bit more clinical. I mean, even then, Viviana Miedemar was an incredible striker. She just hasn't really played there, so it's tough to say. But I think Viviana Miedemar is so much more technically gifted than Khadija Shaw. And so when she receives the ball in midfield, she's got that IQ and that understanding to see those options and that reading of the game to see those options, but also the technical quality to play off the passes. I think Shaw is seeing those options, but doesn't perhaps have the quality because it's not something she's used to doing, dropping and receiving and then looking to play passes. City's best success is when they've been able to find space in wide areas and then create chances from there. It's been a couple times now where they've been able to shift the ball wide into Lauren Hemp, who had a very quiet first 25 minutes. Don't think she touched the ball much, if at all. But they have started to get more into the game and they are creating chances from that. They're doing a bit better now to very much stretch the Liverpool backline with the width they've got. But they're still not creating much clear-cut, in terms of clear-cut opportunities. Shaw had the only real opportunity. That was a fantastic save from Jennifer Falk. Outside of that, though, there's not been much to speak of in terms of City chances.
Yeah, and I think that that's concerning, especially because it's not been one of those where sometimes we have these performances with the big sides where they don't create much, but they never look like conceding. The problem for City is that Liverpool have had opportunities to take the lead, and for 25 minutes it was one-way traffic really, and that will be the concern, is not only have they failed to really test Liverpool defensively, they've also looked a little bit fragile themselves, and that is a bit of that's usually a combination that means you lose a football match, which is something that they've got to change in the second 45 minutes, because Liverpool have shown they've got the quality to create chances, and I mean, you feel that they will take one at some point if it continues. They should have really already taken one in that first half. But I think that 0-0 is although a fair result, is one that Liverpool will feel that they probably could be ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've combined really nicely in wide areas. I think they've had a lot of joy from that. I think that they've been able to find cutbacks quite effectively. I think a lot of their chances have actually come from City struggling to play out from the back. And I just feel that, for me, it's less the defenders making mistakes and more the midfield. And it's interesting because the narrative and the rhetoric after the Brighton game, when we're talking about the midfield, is that, well, Coffey wasn't there, and so that was why they're a bit more defensively frail. But actually, Coffey's back in the side today, and that excuse isn't there, and they've been bullied. Liverpool's midfield have been more intense, and I just think, again, it's Miedemar they're missing more, because there isn't that player that they are combining with as effectively. That third option in midfield. And Coffey and Hasegawa have both been really isolated. There's a few times now for both players when they've received the ball in an area and don't really have the options on. I think this is probably the worst game of Hasegawa's career. I don't think worst first half of her career. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen her look so uncomfortable. In terms of numbers, 0 out of 4 ground duels. 0% on ground duels. Yet to make a tackle and only 1 interception. Drew a pass twice. Dispossessed 4 times in that first half. That's not usual for Yui Hasegawa, is it? And I think Coffey as well had to make a yellow card foul in there. They're really struggling for control at the moment, Man City, and they're really struggling to handle transitions. 2 yellow cards in the first half because players were getting caught in high positions. So many chances for Liverpool. They're issues that have to be addressed very quickly. But we saw the same problems were there in the Brighton game, and Liverpool are finding the joy in very similar ways in this game.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that they've just got to keep doing that, especially with A, the chances created, but B, those yellow cards. If you're Gareth Taylor, the first thing you're saying to Mia Enderby is keep running at Alex Greenwood, because Greenwood can't commit the foul now. If Enderby gets the better of her, Greenwood has to let her go or get sent off. And both of those scenarios, suit Liverpool perfectly. So
Yeah.
they're there. They've got to be direct. Keep running at Greenwood, and again, keep combining nicely, keep causing City problems. They can keep getting Silag in that 1v1 against Kanak and keep putting those City centre halves under pressure. Something's going to happen eventually. Something's got to give. Even if they just keep putting Yamashita under pressure, and if she pulls off magnificent saves, something's going to happen for Liverpool if they can just keep doing what they're doing. If and just repeat that first half, or especially that first 25 minutes performance. But yeah, it's difficult because I would say yes, all that could happen, but you expect a reaction from City, but that reaction wasn't there last week. So are they going to come out and up it again and go on and win this game, or will they remain at this kind of level of performance and allow Liverpool to take advantage and to potentially take the victory?
Yeah. So the other thing that isn't working, we mentioned Kerrigan and Shaw before the stream, that evidently hasn't worked in this game, is do City look to make a personnel change going into the second half? Or could they shift something on the pitch? Do they put Fabinho inside, Kerrigan out wide, something like that? Do they bring someone like Clinton, Brinker Brown, Bene? Do they play someone like that in the 10 role? For me, they've got to change something because it's not working with Kerrigan in there. And I think they need to bring in someone more technically gifted and make it more of a midfield three.
Yeah, I think that Clinton would be a good call if they want to try and try and play the same way. Clinton will give you that combination with Hasegawa and Coffey, but she's also quite a physical presence. And if you get her on the ball, then she will be able to find those passes to the likes of Hemp and Fabinho, who, I mean, especially Fabinho, I don't think really got involved in that first half. But yeah, I think if you go personnel, you bring in Clinton. If he opts to stick with Kerrigan in that 10 role, they've got to change how they're using it. They've got to try and make, because even that probably would that still work?
Well, they've tried to do what I said they should do last week, and they're dropping Shaw deeper and then pushing Kerrigan into the space in behind. But the problem you've got there is that Shaw isn't then able to find teammates, because basically what's happening at the moment for Manchester City is that they've got 4 players in the attacking line, right? And they're building up with the 2 defenders, the width then from the fullbacks and the 2 midfielders. It's all very deep. And there's so much distance between the midfield pair and the front 4. And so what they're doing at the moment is that they're doing really well to invite Liverpool into the press, play a couple of passes and escape and play through the press then and into Khadija Shaw. When Shaw receives it, there's no support there for her to play into. So she's got to try and receive the ball with her back to goal and then turn and look to find space in one of the areas, in one of the wide areas, in order to find a teammate. Because there's not really that support in midfield at the moment. So it's just not really working in reality. What we were talking about last week. Could we see Kerrigan stretching and Shaw dropping? That's what they're trying to do now. It's not really working. So I think they'll probably make a personnel change at halftime, if not looking later in the second half. For Liverpool, I wonder whether we could see Alice Bergstrom onto that right wing, just to give them someone who's a little bit more pacey than Enderby. Couldn't remember who was playing on the right wing. Amir Enderby, to try and target Greenwood, as we mentioned, they're already on a yellow card. But also, we're seeing the success that Holland's had in terms of deliveries and Bernard overlapping. If they could bring on a similarly creative player on the right wing, they may just be able to overload City in that way. So that would be the only change I expect to see for Liverpool, if any. But I think Liverpool will probably keep it the same way, right?
Yeah, exactly. They'll keep it the same way, but we also know they've got that squad depth to call upon. If they're still in the game come 60, 70 minutes, even if they're chasing, they've got some power and some ability on that bench that can come in and change the game. So that is the other encouraging thing for Liverpool. Is it's not that they've got a squad now to compete with sides like Man City across 90 minutes, and that will be the concern for Man City. Is it doesn't get easier. It's not like they're going to bring on weaker players and suddenly gaps might open up. That is a very strong bench for Liverpool. And if they can call upon players like Bergstrom, then I think that they could look to cause City some very difficult problems in the second half. But I wouldn't expect any changes. Maybe, apart from Bergstrom, and then definitely we can see 60, 70 minutes, introduce more attackers, keep the midfield fresh. They've got plenty of players they can call upon, Liverpool, which is something we haven't been able to say about Liverpool for the last couple of years. So it's very encouraging, their squad depth, and they'll be hoping they can use that to try and get a result in the second 45.
Yeah, Nigel went to the stream and says, Jesus wept that first half. Yeah. Not what City would have wanted. Saying we looked like we didn't win, we didn't in any way prepare for Liverpool's pressing patterns. Shaw's disappearing at the most inopportune time. I can't believe we might actually be bottling this. It's fascinating, isn't it? Because I don't think there's a single WSL set of fans right that's happy right now. Like,
Yeah.
Is anyone in this league happy with where they are? Everton, maybe, but even they had such a slow start to the campaign.
Tottenham.
But
Tottenham.
even then, do you think they'd look at the last month and go, oh, maybe we could have won a few more? You know, maybe we could have been in that conversation for fourth place. No United fans are happy, for obvious reasons.
West Ham, they are buzzing.
Maybe even then, you know,
no, just from being there,
the misery in the first half of the season.
Yeah, like, anything is better than what they had. So the fact they're 11th, they're not going down. They've got a new manager.
It's a fascinating sport. We all love it, but equally, no one's happy.
Yeah, that is true. Tottenham are happy right now, though.
I'm sure Tottenham are. They've had a great start to the game against London City. Let's look back through those goals. London City getting caught playing out from the back once again, and Sydney Gareth really tidy finish.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Gareth. Does so well. You know, it's good pressure from Tottenham, and it's a really nice finish into the near corner.
And another mistake from London City playing out the back. A pass inside to Olivia Holt. Absolutely ridiculous strike from Olivia Holt. She's had a growing catalogue of brilliant efforts. Kumagai doesn't close her down quick enough, really. Half-assed attempt to block it. And just curled it into that top corner. Brilliant stuff there from Olivia Holt. As Tottenham look to be in a really good position to claim victory.
Yeah, they'll be annoyed that they didn't take more points early in the season, because they could have, put Man United under a bit of pressure for that fourth position with the way that their form has disappeared really in the new year. But still, fifth is a very good season for them, and I expect them to be right back up there fighting for the best position, knocking on the door of the top four next season, with a side like Liverpool, who right now, the tail doesn't represent it, but I think they've got the quality to, they're proving that first 45 minutes as well, but they've got the quality to really be up the sharp end of the table next year.
Nigel says City fans are nervous because we've seen this movie before. Yeah, I think Man City in the women's game are the same as Arsenal in the men's game, right? It's that there's a couple of opportunities in the last few years where they should have won the title really 2 years ago. Last season was such a big disaster. This season have been great, but they have started to falter at the end of the season. It does just feel that it feels more to me a mentality thing rather than a technical thing, a tactical thing, where they just need to get one title over the line, and then this group has done it. And you'd think that would take the weight off their shoulders when they're going forwards again. And it feels very similar in the men's game with Arsenal, where they get to the end of the season and just completely fall apart.
Yeah.
And we saw some of the reactions in the game against Man City in the men's game. And I think we're seeing the same for Man City now in the women's game, as we saw for Arsenal men, is that they're panicking. They're making mistakes they wouldn't have made a few months ago, certainly. And yeah, I mean, we like to throw around the word bottle now, don't we? But they do just seem to be cracking under the pressure. Liverpool to get us back underway here at the Joey Stadium. The score still 0-0. Can Liverpool find a way to find a breakthrough and pull off an upset? Or will City guide themselves to victory and put themselves one step closer to WSL title? Well, City in possession now, but quickly Carolyn's dispossessed by Nagano. No changes for either side, by the way, at the break. Silag back now to Bernabé. And all the way back to goalkeeper Jennifer Falk. Falk lifts it forwards. Olsen touches it down. They can't quite hold on to possession. Bernabé, though, does win it back, knocks it down the line. It takes a touch off Carolyn. It's out for a Liverpool throw-in.
I think it's also that outside noise element for City, because what happens is they drop points, and then suddenly the Arsenal fan base wakes up and go, hang on a minute, we could be in here. That creeps into the City fans, that creeps into the stadium, and then lo and behold, it creeps into the players.
Ball in behind now for Silag, who's going to get there ahead of Yamashita, lifts it over the goalkeeper, but Rebecca Kanak on hand to clear it away. And again, Liverpool just finding space in behind City's back line.
Yeah, again, Silag, so easy for it. Times to run well, and there's a nice ball over the top. Not really sure why Yamashita came all the way out to that one, but luckily Silag couldn't find anyone with the lift back.
For Gino down the line, and Shaw now up against Fisk. Here is Lauren Hemp. He's going to carry it down the right hand side. Now drops back inside. Lovely little flick there as well. Ball lifted forwards by Kaspai looking for Coffee. Clark doesn't deal with it. Coffee now into the box. Fist clears. Falls for Virgino. Slashes it towards goal, but it's blocked away. Now Carolyn. Back to Hasegawa. Kanak. Looks down the line. Greenwood. Lauren Hemp now, lovely drop of the shoulder. Who could have played that through to Fagino. Turns instead and finds Greenwood. Touches it to Kerrin. This is better from City. Needs some support though. Greenwood lifts it in there, headed away. Fagino on the edge and again tries to take the shot, but it's charged down and cleared away by Liverpool. But a positive sign from City at the start of this half that their intention seems to be to attack much more aggressively, much more fluidly in this second half.
Yeah, better. Much better. Just the tempo has raised a little bit and they're looking to come at Liverpool early doors and get themselves in front quickly.
Ball floated into the area. It's headed away. Nagano now. Can't quite get to it. Carolyn wins it back. Hasegawa. Now Hemp. Lovely dart inside from Lauren Hemp. Takes aim and it's a good save. As Jennifer Fowl gets across to it.
Yeah, tidy from Hemp. Really nice footwork. Does very well to just nip past a couple of players, and I think it may have taken a touch off Nagano, which would have helped Falk, but still a decent save from the Liverpool goalkeeper, who does well to get down to it and keep it out. But it's another shot on target for City, and it's more positive for Jeglertz and his side, who just seem to, there has been that reaction in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, indeed. Virgino drops to receive. Now looks to the left-hand side. Finds Lauren Hemp. Hemp surveying the options ahead of her. Will carry it down the line. Carolyn drops to receive. Her pass, though, intercepted by Nagano. Greenwood keeping the pressure on. They've turned it over half the pitch. City. Here's Carolyn, who'll come inside. Looking for support. Virgino. Kaspai holding the width well, and Holland blocks the cross. Falls for Ayoba Fagino. If City can keep this pressure on, it'll put them in a position to turn things around. Carolyn Hemp lifting it over the top. Here's Yui Hasegawa, who tries to put the ball into the box and now cleared away by Nagano. Enderby. On back by Carolyn. And it's out now for a City throw.
Yeah, really good from City, and Liverpool they're holding them at bay, but yeah, they won't be able to hold them at bay for the remainder of this game if it continues like this.
Hemp. Hasegawa, lovely exchange. Hemp now carrying the ball forwards and takes aim and can't quite nestle it in the far corner, but that's the best chance really that Lauren Hemp's been able to make for herself. Did really well here to keep battling away. A lovely combination with Hasegawa, and she put herself in a position here to get the shot away just wide at the far post.
Yeah, really good from Hemp. Wrong to Shimizu tries to see it out. That ball was never going to run out. Did not have enough on it. Hemp does really well to get there. Get round Shimizu. Not for the first time in this game, and they just couldn't quite find enough bend on the shot to put it on target. But again, positive from City and much better from Lauren Hemp.
Head up from Kanak. Shaw now tries to chest it down. Here's Carolyn. And Shaw does well to win it. It's dragged down by Nagano. And you think that will be a yellow card for Fuka Nagano, and indeed it is.
Yeah, just a smart foul from Nagano. But again, just a very obvious pull back on Shaw, who does really well. Lovely piece of skill to bring the ball down, looking to burst away, and Nagano just pulls her to the floor.
Yeah, a tactical foul there from Nagano. Don't think there's too much wrong with it, but yeah, probably the right decision. Ball lifted forwards, looking for Shaw. It's cleared away. Coffee now cushions it down to Fagino. Fagino wants to take on Bernabe, twisting and turning, and now delivers it into the area. It bounces through. Carolyn will get there. Now looking for support. Here's Lauren Hemp. Lifts it in towards the back post, and just too many bodies for Khadija Shaw to get through to actually get to that ball.
Yeah, again, it's a teasing ball in from Lauren Hemp. It's a lovely little dink towards the back post, and Shaw just couldn't get on the end of it. I think she might have been pulled up for a push anyway on Clark, or sorry, as Bernabe she came in, but yeah, just couldn't get there. Khadija Shaw. Lovely ball though from Hemp. very unlucky that one of our teammates couldn't get on the end of it.
Indeed. Coffee sending it forwards, headed away well by Fisk. Coffee for Gino, nods inside. Carolyn can't quite find a teammate. O'Sullivan now knocked along by Bernabé. Rose can't get it under her control. Here is Aurélie Silag. Can't create the opportunity, needing support here, Silag. And now with Clark. Ball gone long, but it's cleared away well, and now Hasegawa in possession. Here's Fagino, carrying it forwards for City on the left-hand side. Now shifts it into Hemp. Lifts it in towards the back post, and Fisk will get there. Shimizu can clear the ball away. Hasegawa now fighting with Aurélie Silag. Silag doing everything she can to try and hold on to that ball. Knocks out for a City throw-in. Does feel like a different City side have walked out in the second half.
Yeah, exactly what they need to do. I spoke about how last week there wasn't a reaction against Brighton, but there has been one here, although Rose has given it away.
And now they're coming forwards. Holland cuts inside, and well, she would have wanted to do better with that shot.
Yeah, wild from Holland, does everything right. It's a poor pass from Rose. Holland does really well to pick it off. Picks it up in her own half, does Kerry Holland. Drives towards goal really nicely. Knocks it out of her feet, gives herself plenty of room up against Rose. And yeah, that is a wild attempt, lashed goalwards. Just needed a bit more control and a bit more calm with that effort. Nowhere near testing Yamashita.
Rose back to Ayaka Yamashita. Ball lifted forward, looking for Shaw. Fisk wins the header. Drops to midfield now. Nagano trying to nod it out wide. Can't quite find a teammate, and it's a City throw. Kasparai. Bernabé into Holland. Look down the line, and it's blocked by Kirsten Kasparai. Zeta says City got away with one there. Yeah, Holland cutting inside. Just couldn't quite find the target with her effort. I think she tried too much really to find the top corner. When I think you just got to test Yamashita in that position. There's not been enough shots on target in this game. One apiece thus far. Got to get more. I think you've got to test the goalkeepers more.
Yeah, definitely. I say it's been quite a quiet afternoon for Falcon, for Yamashita.
Yeah, City have already looked better in the first 9 minutes of the second half than they did in 45 in the first half. Shimizu plays it to Nagano, and it's blocked by the recovering Lauren Hemp, who earns an applause there from her manager Andre Jeglertz. Liverpool throw-in on this near side with Shimizu. Shimizu looking down the line. City sending players to warm up once again. Silag nodding it on, but it will fall to connect. And City now back in possession. Rose. Sheeta. Here's Rose. Coffee. Kasparai tries to play it forwards. It's blocked there. I think just catching the face of Kerry Holland, who's gone down. Does seem to be in some discomfort here, understandably.
Yeah.
The ball chips into her face.
Took it at point blank range. Going to be a sore one. But Liverpool just, I think City have done really well. In this second half, but Liverpool have done well to get through the first 10 minutes unscathed, and now just need to keep doing what they're doing and try and get through the next 5 minutes and then the next 5 minutes after that.
Indeed.
But yeah, this break in play will also help them just to regroup, keep doing. They're under a lot of pressure defensively, but we have seen some very strong defensive performances from them this season. If they can just keep doing that, keep replicating that, then it's going to take City are playing well, and of course they've got the quality to produce something special. But it feels like Liverpool are going to force them to find something quality.
Yeah, indeed.
It's not ideal though for City. They'd like to have been ahead by this point. Again, it's just not comfortable. But at this point in the season, it just needs to happen at some point.
I think it's one of those where if they get a goal here, they're done, aren't they? They should beat West Ham on the final day. The title is there. If they concede, it's suddenly wide open.
Yeah, I mean, if Arsenal win all their games in hand, they can go level on points
With a draw. If they lose, it's Arsenal's to win.
Yeah.
And so City have got to find a goal, and there's that pressure. But it is also just one goal.
Yeah.
That they've got to score to get this over the line. It's just it's such on a knife edge at this point,
which is incredible because it looked so far clear at points in this season. Even a few weeks ago, they looked home and dry.
But and Arsenal have nothing else to focus on now. Without Champions League football, they've got nothing to rest for.
Yeah.
And yes, they've had a few players out, but ultimately, most of their starting 11 is back to fitness now.
Yeah.
You think they just play them in all the games, so it does make it nervy now. If City draw here, it will come down to goal difference, which City have a +6 advantage at the moment on Arsenal. Obviously, a lot of games to play for Arsenal, where they could extend that. If they lose here, it's in Arsenal's hands. If they win here, they've just got to beat West Ham.
Yeah.
But they've just made it so much more difficult for themselves than it needed to be.
Yeah, this game. I mean, this game we always knew we felt was going to be the defining one. With the fact they could have, there was a point in the season where they could have won it with a game to go. But I think this is going to be the defining one as to whether the title race actually, is going on. And of course, Arsenal have got to go out and win all those games, but you just don't want to rely on Arsenal slipping up.
Especially when Arsenal don't have anything else to focus on now.
Yeah.
They're out of the FA Cup. They're out of the Champions League. They've got nothing else to do now but win these games.
Yeah.
Out then on the far side. Boy, Liverpool throwing as they're trying to come forwards. Fisk, Bernabei. Good pressure from Firmino to win it back. Here come Manchester City. Firmino driving forwards with the ball. And hits the deck. Just one back by Nagano.
Need to do better there, Firmino. The initial drive is good, but just slipped me lose their footing. I think it's been a quiet game for Firmino. A very quiet game.
And Chad Gribble on the Liverpool bench, which has to be one of the best names for a coach I've ever seen. Chad Gribble has been booked. I assume some sort of complaint there from Chad.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Chad's complaining about. Nothing's really happened to complain about.
Mr. Gribble has a grievance. Hemp trying to come down the left-hand side, and he makes a challenge. I think was it something to do with the Holland head injury?
Maybe.
Because the referee didn't seem to be too concerned about that situation.
No.
Ball played around the corner. Carolyn now to Hemp, who's going to lay it forwards, looking for Coffee, I think, in there. But it is one back by Fisk, not out of play. Liverpool throwing. Carolyn not wanting to give it to Shimizu very easily, though.
No. City just haven't been able to make that fast start to the second half. Then materialise into the lead.
Nodded on well by Silag. Greenwood. Yamashita. Out towards the right-hand side. Kasperai down the line. Here is Firmino. Now Rose. Exchanging with Coffee. Rose again. Slips it through the lines. Kasperai into Shaw. Shaw round the corner looking for Carolyn. Carolyn into score. Should score. It's a massive save from Jennifer Falk. Carolyn one-on-one with the keeper. just can't quite bury the chance. What a stop from Falk to tip it over the bar as well. Phenomenal from Falk.
Yeah, brilliant move from City, and Carolyn will feel like she has to do a lot better. But it's a great save from Falk, 1-on-1, guesses the right way. It's too central from Carolyn, but take nothing away from Falk. It's a brilliant save.
All the goal to aim for and just put it straight at the keeper.
Yeah.
Has to do better there, Carolyn. Spry now delivers it into the box. Clark nods it on. Shaw. Great ball for a moment ago, by the way, from Khadija Shaw to set up Carolyn, who's twisting and turning now. Shaw trying to find space for the shot. It's cleared by O'Sullivan for a City throw-in.
Again, City just ramping up the pressure, keeping Liverpool under the pump.
Carolyn, I mean, that seems like such a great chance. And again, you question the City players cracking under the pressure, 1-on-1 with the keeper. You've just got to slot it past her.
Yeah.
Low and hard, or roll it past her, and she's trying to fire it as hard as possible, and it's just straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Just need a touch of calm and composure.
Great pressure here from O'Sullivan to turn it over. Here come Liverpool. Slots it through to Sillag. Rose gets across and makes the challenge. Sillag. Holland. O'Sullivan now to Bernabei. O'Sullivan. Carolyn wins it back. Here's Kasparai. Carolyn. Greenwood. Back to Kanak. Now Lauren Hemp. Carrying it forwards, Lauren Hemp bursting down the left-hand side. Lifts it into the box and it's cleared by Clark. And out for a City corner.
Yeah, again, good defending at the front post from Clark to put it out of play. City really haven't used these corners today. They've struggled to try and find a way through the very assertive Liverpool back line. Clark has been the one to make a lot of contact with these deliveries.
She's just incredibly tall.
Yeah.
If you're going to get the ball over her, it's got to be something quite impressive. Kasparai. He's going to put this one on top of the goalkeeper, and they can't quite nudge it over the line there, City. Great goalkeeping again from Falk, who's also been a key part of Liverpool defending corners, just able to get up there and punch it away.
Yeah.
Liverpool have done so well in this game, but 26 minutes left. City really putting the pressure on this second half. They've swung it in their favour. Can they find the goal that they so desperately need? Hemp. Carolyn. Now Greenwood. Carolyn round the corner for Hemp. Puts it in there looking for Shaw, who fires over at the near post. Just can't quite hit the target. Khadija Shaw, 19 goals this season, but can't add another to her tally yet today.
Lovely move. Lovely give and go between Hemp and Carolyn, and it's another really good ball in,
I think,
from Lauren Hemp.
I understand Khadija Shaw's never going to pass in this situation, but I think she's got to roll it back there.
Yeah, potentially.
Just a little touch back. Because you've got Coffey and Pagino both stood on the edge of the box completely unmarked.
Yeah.
And well, we mark this day in the diary as one that City could be lifting the title on. As it stands, they could be about to allow the title race to be wide open once again. O'Sullivan there bringing down Kirsten Kasparai. City with the free kick. And something happening here. It is Falk down and City are not happy.
Yeah. Assume tactical from Liverpool to just try and take a bit off the clock.
Yeah.
Also allow them to regroup. And I think that what should be, and I'm sure there is a bit of energy around the Joey Stadium. I'm sure there's also a few nerves.
I think it's a lot of nervous energy, yeah. A lot of, what are we doing here?
Which it just goes the wrong way. And of course, fans are going to be nervous, but you need that. The fans need that stadium to be bouncing, and Liverpool could be the ones to make the first change of the afternoon. And that's, again, it's not what you want to see if you're City. Liverpool, being able to bring on top quality players.
Yeah, Alice Bergstrom, I did say at half time, I think that's a sub that Liverpool need to make. and try and stretch City on both sides. You'd think that would be for me or Enderby. A like for like change, but slightly different profiles, and that will just allow them to stretch City backline. Does it look like this could be a genuine problem for Falk? Either that or the Liverpool physios and Falk have been taking acting lessons.
Yeah.
Because they are making it very believable.
Yeah. I mean, she's been brilliant, Falk, since she joined. And just again today, another brilliant performance. Everything City have thrown at her, she's dealt with. Big saves, corners, has been really assertive. Yeah, massive signing that Falk was.
So, Alice Bergstrom coming on now then. Will she be made to wait? It looks like she will be made to wait, but Taylor will use this chance to give her a bit more tactical direction. City, get us back underway. Rose. Yamashita. Now into Greenwood. Greenwood back to Kanak. Wants to play positively here, Rebecca Kanak. Looking to play it forwards to find Carolyn. Assertive though from Clark. And Liverpool have possession. O'Sullivan, Enderby. One back by Hasegawa. Hemp. Darts across O'Sullivan now. Pokes the ball through. Looking for Carolyn. And off her line quickly. It's Falk who comes and claims possession.
Yeah, just too much on it there from Hemp. Carolyn gave it a good fight, but Falk was always going to get there first.
Kanak heads it away. Now O'Sullivan. Sagawa forcing her backwards. And out now, which way is the throw been given? Well, they're going to make the substitution either way here, Liverpool. And it is going to be a special one for Risa Shimizu. So they're actually going to put her on at right back. Going more aggressive in this game, Liverpool.
I mean, that's bold. That's bold from Gareth Taylor. Thought it would be a like for like, but no, that is a big change.
I want to go out and win the game. But yeah. And potentially, Shimizu played 90 minutes in the last game, so it's not even like it's a fitness thing.
Yeah.
Casbright into Shaw. Good defending from Fisk. And now Coffey trying to head it on and it's out of play. 21 minutes to go. It's just not happening, and there is, you can see, even Andre Jeglertz now, he's starting to worry.
Yeah.
Because even a draw here would just give Arsenal the opportunity to draw level on points. It would all come down to goal difference where, yes, City have a plus 39 to Arsenal's plus 33, but if Arsenal are going to win their 3 games in hand, you'd have to assume they'd win them by a two or more margin in every game, which would put themselves top of the league. So it's getting nervy for City. Sure. To Carolyn. Driving to the left-hand side. Now Hemp. Looking for support. Greenwood overlapping. Inside now looking for Carolyn. Here's Hemp. Tries to find Shaw. An important interception from Alejandra Bernabe. Rose. Kasparai into Fagino. Lovely drop of the shoulder then to drive into space. Now Carolyn pokes it on to Greenwood. It puts it straight to the keeper and is offside either way.
Ooh.
I think there's a yellow card in here somewhere as well. Liverpool now with a free kick.
Yeah, Holland got there very late on Kasparai.
Kirsten Kasparai.
Bit better from Gino. Had a quiet game. It's a brilliant drive. Does well. And Carolyn also a poke at Greenwood, who was in an offside position.
I mean, Greenwood never looked natural striking this one anyway.
So yeah, straight at Falcon. A comfortable save. Oh, and Silag's managed to get the wrong side of Nak here. Brilliant, though, from Yamashita. Off her line quickly. And that has got to be the concern. There's still a chance Liverpool nick a goal into a run of play. That's what City have got to be wary of. They can't afford to just throw everything at it.
Yeah. Back now. Into Rose. Kanak stepping forward. Sinak tries to bring her down. And does so. Free kick for City.
Yeah, just got to keep moving it, City. Surely at some point they're going to look to the likes of Fowler and Benet and Clinton to try and come in and change this game. Because again, it's not like it's a constant barrage. Liverpool are just able to get the ball out and to get up the pitch. Even if they're not causing problems, they're just relieving pressure, which is the most important part.
Back now to Kasparai. Now Yamashita. Rose. Sam Coffey. Rose goes up the line. Bernabé. And now Holland carrying the ball forwards. Down the line. Bernabé lifts it in there. Olsen! Oh, just wide. Just wide from Beta Olsen. How has that not gone in? Great chance for Liverpool. City opened up way too easily. No one is anywhere near Beta Olsen here. You wouldn't think City needed to score and needed not to concede. Whistling past the post.
And I mentioned it a moment ago. There's still that threat that Liverpool could get a goal against a run of play.
Here is Shaw. Down the line to Fagino. Can City immediately sting back. Lifted towards the back post. Nodded away from Bergstrom. Now with Hemp. Wants to take on Alice Bergstrom. Bergstrom makes the challenge. City will have a corner now.
Got to use this.
Yeah.
Deliri's haven't been good enough today, but they've got to make this one count. They need a goal, Manchester City. Try and get Rebecca Kanak free. Get Shaw, get Rose involved. Someone in a blue shirt's got to make first contact with this. Too many have gone into the gloves of Falk or been headed away by a Liverpool player.
Ball in towards the back post. Shaw can't head it back goalwards. It will be a goal kick for Liverpool.
Well, it was a City player made first contact with it, but the contact was not what was required from Shaw.
No.
He was just trying to wrestle with two players as well as head the ball goalwards.
Wow. How on earth is this how it's panning out?
Yeah. Wouldn't have thought this would ever be a scenario 3 or 4 match weeks ago.
No, indeed not. Headed on by Coffey. Carolyn competing. Clark knocks it forward. The flick on now to find Aurélie Silag. She wants to take on Rebecca Kanak. Lovely footwork from Silag. Lifts it forwards. Can't quite find Enderby. It bounces through and out for a City goal kick.
Yeah, again, it's not a bad move from Liverpool. Just to cross over the head of Enderby, but it's not the constant domination, the constant barrage that City needs at this point in the game.
Sure, does brilliant there to back into Bernabé. Now wide to Fagino. Holland's getting back in. Fagino cuts inside, tries to go back outside, and Holland wins it back. Surely City have got to turn to their bench as well. They need an impact. They need someone to come on and make something happen. Bergstrom carries down the right-hand side. Lifts it into the box. It's going to fall for Austin, headed away by Rose. Here is Holland. She could take aim from here, but it's wide from Kerry Holland.
Has to do better. Has to do better there, Kerry Holland. Nobody gets out to her. Nobody in a City shirt gets anywhere near her, and they allow Holland to take a touch, to settle and let fly. And again, it's wild from Holland. But what a chance for Liverpool again.
Yeah, City run their luck. Really are riding their luck in this game. And Liverpool, I'm sure, can't quite believe they haven't found the net with some of their chances today. What a game this has turned out to be, though.
Yeah.
City just 3 shots on target in 76 minutes. Something's got to change quickly.
Yeah. Goal scoring form's just evaporated.
Yeah.
Especially in the first, compared to the first half of the season. And I mean, even recent games.
Yeah. It's just been an odd one. Really odd one.
This way you need players to step up. Players like Shaw, players like Hemp should be stepping up in this moment and delivering when City need them to.
Yeah. It's been a bizarre season. After game week 1, they didn't drop points again until game week 15. Since game week 15, this would be their 3rd drop of points.
Wow. It's just incredible. The contrast.
I mean, either way, 3 losses in a title-winning season is not usual in the WSL. Coffee floats it in there, cleared away by Holland. Now for Gino. Gino darts inside, lifting it towards the back post, and there's fury from her teammates there. What a better ball. Just seemed to get stuck there between taking a shot and crossing it in. And Shaw's furious. They're feeling the pressure, though, City.
Yeah. It's a wild. Is it a wild attempt? Is it a wild ball in? Not really sure from Gino, to be honest. I think it's just a really poorly hit cross. And yeah, Shaw was unmarked towards the back post, understandably frustrated, but he'd say that frustration's only coming in. And I mean, I'm really surprised that they aren't turning to the bench. I mean, players are warming up, but they're laughing and just jogging about. They're not ready to come on now.
12 minutes left.
Yeah.
I can't believe that how this is being managed at this stage. Fisk now to connect. O'Sullivan. They need a goal. If not, it's in Arsenal's hands.
Yeah.
Holland darts past Kasparov, who makes the challenge out for a Liverpool corner, though.
And that's the thing. Even like a 0-0 would be bad, but there's still a chance Liverpool nick this at the end, and that would be even worse. For Man City. And it's Liverpool who are now turning to their bench again.
Anna Yozandala, a player who since joining in January has struggled with injuries really, but does make the bench today and is coming on. She made 23 minutes against West Ham, had a minute against Leicester a month ago, and is set to get another 10 minutes here.
Liverpool just bundling players into the 6-yard box.
Holland puts in towards the front post. Who's that come off? A City player. Did it even come on? It has. It will be another corner.
Yeah, I think they tried to. I can't tell whether players tried to let it go, and I can't tell whether a player missed it or whether actually it wasn't. The ball shouldn't have been let run because of how dangerous it was. But there must have been a touch off someone in a blue shirt there to turn it behind again.
Indeed. Liverpool then with this corner once more. Ball in on top of Yamashita. It's punched away. And it will be another Liverpool corner.
Wow, City really aren't handling these. It's just a complete mess in the 6-yard box. It's anyone's guess who makes contact with things. That time, though, it was a combination of Shaw and Yamashita. No, Yamashita completely missed it, actually. It's clearly just short. The one to head it away.
What can Liverpool do from this set piece? Ball floated in, nodded away. It's going to drop on the edge for Fuka Nagano, who pokes it goalwards. Big block from Alex Greenwood. Corner will be recycled. Here's Holland. The taker knocks it back. Now Bernabé floats it in towards the back post. Clark heading across goal. Bats around a chance for O'Sullivan. Greenwood gets it clear.
Wow.
And now Kirsten Kasparov knocks it up the line. Headed away by Nagano. Will drop for O'Sullivan. Ball played across the box, across the face of goal. And it will run through and out for a goal kick for Manchester City.
Crucial interventions from Alex Greenwood on both occasions. Very important. The biggest one, though, the second one there is Sullivan. Her touch just escaping her in the 6-yard box. Couldn't get the shot away. And what a let-off for Man City. Greenwood does well, though, to pounce on it and smother the chance. But with 8 minutes to go, City need a goal, and it's Liverpool the ones who are probing.
Ollie Sillag making her way off the field then for Anna Josendal. Olsen will go up front. Or appears actually that Josendal has just joined in that second striker position. I thought it may be changing shape. Now, Rose. Coffee. Rose again. Steps up well, loses possession, but Olsen can't hold on to it. Coffee goes back to her goalkeeper. Greenwood. Asagawa. Feels off the receive. Can't quite find the forward pass, but does then pick up on the second ball. But there's a free kick. Awarded. Nagano was caught in the challenge. Liverpool with a free kick in a decent position.
Yeah, it must have been just as she released the ball there that she got caught. I'll get a replay here. Yeah, just releases the ball. Gets taken out by Fagino from behind. Very needless free kick to give away. And City finally will turn to the substitutes.
So over Fagino making way. Mary Fowler onto the pitch then. And what they need to come on, have a big impact here, Fowler. They need someone to make something happen.
That change is about 20 minutes too late.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
Mm.
I don't think City realised that they had to get something.
Yeah.
They trust the players out there, but it's just not quite come. Holland lifts it towards the back post. Clark gets it across goal again. But Greenwood on hand to stop it. Shaw now wins it off Bergstrom and is carrying the ball forwards. Out for a Liverpool throw-in. That's not what they needed.
No. But again, Jenna Clark is allowed to wander in at the back post and cut it back across goal. City get on the end of it, but yeah, it's been all Liverpool in the last 5 or so minutes.
Kate says City must win, else they're running the risk of losing the title on goal difference. Surely not. It's not the first time that Manchester City, with 1 game to go, have been in a position where a victory would all but seal it.
Mm.
They lost that game. Seemed like only a scoring in the last minute. And then Chelsea found enough goals against Bristol City to give themselves the advantage, and they won the title on the final day, smashing Manchester United. As it stands, Arsenal will be able to win the title if they score enough goals and win all the matches left this season. Carolyn breaking down the right-hand side, looking for support, tries to cut it back, and Fist blocks it. City corner now.
Better, much better. Really good drive from Carolyn, an important block from Grace Fish to put it behind. But it's Holland who gets caught on the ball on the left-hand side, and Fowler just making things tick over. Carolyn does ever so well. Big tackle from Fist, but better from Manchester City.
Indeed. Blocks the shot. Blocks the cross. Holland down now for Liverpool. And I'm going to try and manage the last 5 minutes of this game. This does seem to be a genuine concern for Kerry Holland. Just caught in the challenge there. Right, Kasparov already has her thigh taped up. Is that an aggravation of a previous injury then?
Doesn't look good for Holland. And this will just add to the drama, stopping it now, increasing the additional time that we're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, 5 minutes to go. A goal is so important at this stage.
It's incredible how a goal for City would all but seal the title. A goal for Liverpool would smash open the door for Arsenal to come sailing through in the next couple of weeks. It's incredible how fine the margins really are.
A draw for City, I think, still makes Arsenal favourites, with the fact that they'd have to score goals in those games in hand to win, and that would put them in a position ahead of City going into the final day.
Just incredible. Biggest 4 minutes plus additional time of the season so far.
I don't really know how we're here.
No idea. See, I guess the Arsenal games in hand have always meant that it looked a little bit more convincing for City, but even still.
Well, as it stands, they've dropped 5 points in game week 20 and game week 21. That's ultimately not good enough.
Wow. Yeah.
Just completely falling apart at the end of this season.
Before the draw to Villa, they were home and dry. They looked absolutely clear.
And it feels very similar in the sense to when Taylor lost the title in the last 2 games, where they lost a very important player in the form of Viviana Miedema, in the form of Khadija Shaw, and they've lost another very important player at this point in the season, with Viviana Miedema not being available, and that has just cost them so much by the looks of it. 3 minutes to go, plus additional time. Kerry Holland getting back to her feet, and it does look like someone is turning to the bench. Is it Liverpool or is it City?
Yeah, I think it's Liverpool going to withdraw Holland.
Yeah. Holland makes way. Woodham on. One Welsh winger for a Welsh fullback.
I can only see that will push Bergstrom higher up then and drop.
Corner for Manchester City. Liverpool have got to find some focus now. It's been a 2-minute break, and now Greenwood would deliver the ball into their penalty area. Loops it in towards the back post. Kanat's going to get there with the header. Heads across the face of goal and out for a goal kick.
Well, it's the first corner of the game that Kanak has made contact with. It's not a bad header, but well seen out by Fisk at the far post. And another chance comes and goes. More time running away from them. But as I say, I'm expecting 6, 7, 8 minutes. I think we'll get quite a lengthy additional time for City to try and find a winner. And how important that winner could be. Maybe it'll be Liverpool to nick it at the death.
Indeed. Ball played in behind. Carolyn giving chase. Has she won her side a corner there? Nope. Yes. Wasn't sure there. City now can put more pressure on. They desperately need a goal.
Yeah. They've just got to keep Liverpool under the pump. It's the consistency that they've lacked in this second half. They should have been coming forward a lot more often, but they've got plenty of time. Potentially.
Greenwood in on top of the goalkeeper. It's a good claim from Falk. And Liverpool now can play out from this position. Though Falk is going to slow it down. Take some of the pace out of the game.
Another wasted corner, really.
There's not enough urgency for me at this stage.
No.
Why is Kanak up front? Not up front, sorry. Why are they not throwing the ball forwards to get a goal at this stage?
I think they want that point, but you need the 3 points, really.
The point is a much stronger position than if they lose. If they lose, it's right in Arsenal's hands. They don't even need goal difference. They just have to win the games. If they draw, Arsenal still need to score a decent amount of goals in the games left. But, yeah, they need to win. And breaking down the left-hand side. Floats the ball in there. Shaw gets there. What a save! Jennifer Falk tips it over the bar. That was another big chance for City. Denied by Falk.
Again, Jennifer Falk just comes up with something brilliant. What a ball from Hemp. Shaw does everything right. It's brilliant from Falk to tip it over the bar. Incredible reflexes. And again, City just cannot find a way past Jennifer Falk.
How on earth has that not gone in? Greenwood lifts it in there. Header on target. It's there. City have a late winner. Is that Rebecca Kanaka? Can't see through the bodies on top of her, but someone's headed it home for Manchester City. That could be the most important goal of the season. Big chances missed by Carolyn and by Shaw, and Rebecca Kanaka, well, she might have done herself some damage in the process with the players jumping on top of her, but that, a mixture of jubilance and relief for City fans and players alike. Knackhead time, and City at long last take the lead in this game.
It's a brilliant diving header from Rebecca Knack, who just gets free at the front post, and it's somehow just bumbled past Jennifer Fount, who got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and Fount really should do better.
For all the saves she's made in this game, Fount, that was the easiest of them all, dropping the ball. And Rebecca Knack giving City the goal they so desperately needed.
Jennifer Fount dropping the ball could have just won Manchester City the OSL title. What a moment. And Knack, who has struggled with a shoulder injury ever since she was taken out by Silag in the first half, did herself some even more damage. But I think it might be worth it if City can see the result through.
Ball sent long. Knack heads clear. Sullivan. And now cleared by Coffey. Bergstrom under pressure, but she will get it out to the right-hand side now for a City throw-in.
Wow. What a moment. And I think the reaction in the stadium, reaction from the City bench sums up the exact feelings that were running through the minds of everyone of a City persuasion before that goal goes in. I've never seen a team and a bench and a fan base so relieved to see a ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah, they've been here before. They've thrown away opportunities, and as it stands, they'd have a 9-point gap to Chelsea, ruling them out of contention, and an 11-point gap to Arsenal. All they need is a win on the final day of the season, or a draw if Arsenal mess up any of the games between now and then. This is the position they wanted to be in. They would have wanted it to be a lot earlier today, but I think they'll be happy nonetheless so they can just get this over the line.
Incredible. Yes.
Olsen hooked inside towards Woodham. Coffey wins it back, tries to find Shaw. Liverpool back in possession. Clark, moving it across to Bergstrom.
Brilliant from Lauren Hemp. Just blocks the clearance and drops Liverpool right back into their own third. But incredibly fine margins across this season. But City might have just done enough now. I mean, Liverpool score now, I don't know what to say.
Bergstrom down the line. That has gone. I think that may be a foul there for Manchester City. Massive moment in this game. A goal, of course, as well in the Tottenham London City game. Alana Kennedy has pulled one back there for London City. Tottenham 2, London City 1. That won't matter too much unless London City can get a second.
Maybe it's be late drama around the ground.
Rose launching it over the top. Yeah, well, 2 games currently with a 1-goal margin in it.
Yeah, we've got the 6 added, but you can imagine the referee will add on a bit more for the goal celebrations.
Change now as Laura Coombs will enter the field and Alex Greenwood makes way. Or will she? No. I think Greenwood was giving her the armband.
Yeah. Last home appearance for Coombs.
And it will be Carolyn making way. City are just going to see this out now. They are in no rush.
Yeah. Coombs could come help get the job done, but also B, get a chance to have a run out in front of the Joey.
One last time. Laura Coombs, of course, this week announced her retirement at the end of the season. This, her last game in front of the Manchester City faithful, and she may well end this season with a WSL title as well. What a way to bow out. Shaw wins her side, another throw-in. I mean, Coombs just come on to keep the ball in the corner.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing now.
That's all they need.
Kasperite dummies a few throw-ins, goes short into Shaw. Out for another City throw. We're into the 96th. Now it's at the referee's discretion as to when she wants to end this game. Kasperite again takes her time over this throw-in. Goes short into Shaw again. Now Kasperite battling away in this corner. Holding it up against the corner flag. So brilliantly physical there, Kirsten Kasperite. Another throw-in for City. As she collects the ball there, Kasperite delaying and getting the fans up for it, jeering them. And throw-in is out for a goal kick. So Liverpool now are going to launch this long. They want a goal.
Yeah.
Ball launched forwards, nodded on. Rose now lashing it away. Header forwards. And Garno. Kanak makes a mess of it. Jotendorf trying to run in, and Rose just doing enough to get in front of her, slow her down. And Yamashita comes to collect.
Can't imagine there'll be too much longer.
Referee telling Yamashita to get a move on with it. Yamashita drops the ball and launches the ball. We're into the 97th now. Rose clears it away. I'm sure the Joey Stadium is begging the referee to blow the whistle and end this contest. Ball sent forwards by Woodham, nodded on and out of play by Rose. Liverpool with a throw-in as they're coming forwards now. Fisk. Clark. Wide to Bergstrom. Lifts it in towards the back post. It bounces through. And that should be straight out of play for a City goal kick, but it won't matter. That is the full-time whistle here at the Joey Stadium. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0. Such an important 3 points. City now just need a result on the final day of the season against West Ham to seal the title. What a season it's been. So much drama in the last few match weeks. City had such a comfortable, a seemingly insurmountable lead a few months ago, a few weeks ago even. They have done their best to throw it away, but today, an important victory. A late Rebecca Kanak header rescues the victory. And City back in the driving seat.
Yeah, better late than never for Manchester City. We said at this point in the season, it's not about performances. It's just about getting the results over the line. Get that title over the finish line. And City may have just done that here. Massive goal from Rebecca Nack in stoppage time. And it's still in their hands. That's the important part. It's still in their control. Very, very nearly another massive slip up. But that should be enough now. You know, they've just got to get the job done on the final day. What a battle, though. Credit to Liverpool for a brilliant performance, and especially in that first half of an incredibly well-played first 25 minutes. But City get it over the line. That's what matters. It's 3 points on the board, and it is a massive potential title-winning 3 points.
Yes, and well, Nigel is crying in the live chat. Tears of joy, tears of relief, tears of jubilation. Lloyd has Jack called it. I did call the Rebecca Kanak goal. In all fairness, I have been predicting a Rebecca Kanak goal every week since about January. So it's going to happen eventually. Big header, though. And title-defining moment potentially there. There were missed chances, which we thought at the time, that might define the title. That might decide that Arsenal are right back in it. When Carolyn put it straight at the goalkeeper, when Shaw's header was tipped over the bar magnificently in the 88th minute. We just thought those moments might be the moments the City go on to regret. But they did find a way. Rebecca Kanak with a diving header as City claim an important 3 points. Chelsea now can't win the title. It's mathematically, I believe, the first time Chelsea can't win the title in something like 7 years and 300 days. I believe I saw someone had put together as something ridiculous, like 2,000 odd days. But Chelsea now cannot win the WSL title. Arsenal are the only ones that can stop them. They're realistically, City are the only ones that can stop themselves. They've just got to win against West Ham, and they've won the WSL title.
Wow. I mean, it sounds so easy, doesn't it? But Rita Guarino's West Ham are going to turn up and try and give it everything. The bonus for Man City is that we did initially think that West Ham may need to win that game themselves, but now that they're safe, they've got nothing to play for, which does...
On the beach.
Exactly. That does lead...
Marino's in Venice.
Exactly. That does play into Man City's hands, but they are 90 minutes away from the WSL title.
Yeah, a word for Liverpool's performance today as well, because obviously everything will focus on Manchester City. That is a huge win and a huge moment. But Liverpool, they played the better football for large parts of that game. They took the current WSL leaders and who will likely be WSL champions, they took them all the way into added time. Really impressive performance. City now, well, focus momentarily, will turn to the FA Cup and FA Cup semi-final next weekend at the Bridge, where they face Chelsea. That's going to be a tough game. And that'll be their focus on Sunday. And then, of course, the Saturday after, the WSL final day. Harry will be live here.
Yes.
For all of the games, keeping an eye on everything happening that day. On Chelsea, Man United, if that still has any importance to the battle for Champions League football, on the City game as they seal the title.
Wow.
And that is about it that's left to play for at this rate, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, Chelsea, of course, can confirm Champions League football today if they beat Leicester City. That game on in 30 minutes' time. We are back, though, in an hour and 15 minutes for the Champions League semi-finals. Cannot wait. We'll, of course, be keeping tabs on that Chelsea game as well throughout. But the focus, of course, Barcelona taking on Bayern Munich. 1-1 aggregate. Make sure to join us for that in just over an hour's time. If you want to head on over to that stream page now, set yourself a reminder. Make sure to join us there. We cannot wait for that one. That, though, is everything from us today. Thanks to everyone that's joined us for this stream and throughout the season. If you are new and haven't yet hit subscribe, make sure to do so. We're trying to get to 10k before the end of the domestic season, and we're only 50 subs away now from hitting 9k. So if we could hit that today, that would be incredible. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That, though, is everything. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.